The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow alone. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Welcome into a Thursday edition of Running Points, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Yeah, we're back in the studio. I think we should be back out at Mill Creek. It's another gorgeous day.
You hate to sound like we're disrespecting the beautiful G. Burbick Farm Studios that we have here at YSN.
Oh, no, it's beautiful.
When you compare anything to Mill Creek Park, it's like going from the Ritz to the Days Inn Motel on the other side of the street. You know,
Yeah.
you're like, oh.
Yeah. It's like, all right, it's nice, but it's 75 degrees. It's absolutely gorgeous. Good breeze blowing. I'd like to be on a golf course right now. Yeah, well, hey, it is what it is. I mean, we had some fun yesterday.
We had so much fun.
Oh,
I mean,
my God.
how about we were on the 18th hole? You looked back. It felt like we were on the Golf Channel. I said
Yeah.
that on my Facebook. I mean, it was like we were giving live updates and looking back, and we could see people finishing their round at the 18th green. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was really cool. And again, congratulations to the winners in the tournament yesterday. And again, this is the junior tournament. You have just some really super talented kids that are taking part in this. We saw John Hiller toward the tail end of our show yesterday. The New York City native winning the tournament by one shot over Eric Zhao and Michael Lee. And then we had an opportunity to interview the girls champion, Anna Swan, who is from the metropolitan Erie area in northeast Pennsylvania. She got a two-shot victory over Sawyer Brockstedt and Michelle Ho. So just a great group of kids that were golfing.
Yeah, and to hear Anna Swan do the interview, we talked about it. Like, she's got a great head on her shoulders. I mean, we were talking about, is the LPGA a goal? And she's like, well, of course it's a goal, but it's not going to be the thing that defines me. And I love hearing that from a young athlete that's elite in their sport, that they're already knowing that their identity is not wrapped up in what they do on the field or on the course or on the court, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Because that's hard for kids at that level that have put that much work into it and have that kind of prestige to kind of understand that they are more than what they produce on the sporting aspect.
Yeah, the scary part is Anna and John, the two winners, are both going to be sophomores in high school. So,
and I love how she's like, "Well, we already won a state."
Yeah, and she was
so we're going for two.
and she threw out we've already won a state title. I mean, okay. Yeah, your older sister she was a junior, and they already won the state title. So you got to send her out and send the older sister out in style.
I expected her to put the shades on after she said that.
Yeah,
we already won.
Yeah, we're going to go for two in a row. Get my sister graduated, then I'm going to be the king of this golf team, and then we'll win two more in a row, and there you go. All right, so congratulations again to John Hiller, who won the boys AJGA tournament presented by the Mahoning County or Mahoning Valley. Try that again. Mahoning Valley Hospital Foundation. And Mike Senchek was fantastic in an on-air interview as well. Really good dude.
And, of course, our weekly update with Brian Tolnar was fun, and to talk about the next PGA tournament.
And according to him, he's on a heater, which means that he's doing quite well with his picks. I think
I
he's
didn't-
picked 2 of the last 3.
I didn't get to pick because I wasn't on the air with you guys.
No,
but-
that's true.
But I'm going with Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler. Okay,
I
well,
believe he was in the Power 5 at like number 3.
let me take a look and see what Mr. Scheffler is doing
I
right
did not
now.
look at the scores beforehand. I forgot that this is Thursday.
He is 1 under through 17, which isn't bad. He's in a tie for 26. Now, who did we pick again to win this thing?
What do you mean we?
Brian. Who did Brian pick? Because I
You
picked
just
him
said
as
he-
well. Scheffler, we did not pick.
No,
Scheffler is 1 under through 17. Hang on a second. I got my guy. Let me put my.
you just picked the same thing. You went.
I
you
picked
went
the
with-
same guy because that's how we roll. I picked Brooks Koepka to win this tournament. He has not started.
Right, because
Yeah.
you guys were talking about how cool it would be for him and Bryson DeChambeau to get
Yeah, exactly.
paired together.
Because I think it would be really interesting if a fight broke out on the back nine between the two.
Drama is fun.
Oh, absolutely it is. It's kind of like Major League Baseball, even though they don't mean to have drama. We're seeing drama now with the pitchers getting the Miranda rights handed to them and getting frisked all in the same fell swoop. It's pretty hilarious. And now you get the Nationals GM Mike Rizzo calling the Phillies manager Joe Girardi a con artist on radio. So that's always kind of fun.
And here we go.
Yeah, it should be a good time. Kansas City's manager Mike Matheny has warned opponents, according to Ronald Bloom from the Associated Press, and I'm going to read this verbatim. Kansas City manager Mike Matheny warned opponents that if they act like Philadelphia's Joe Girardi and ask umpires to check Royals pitchers for sticky substances, it would provoke his team. Okay, then. There are some bench clearing brawls coming in the future, courtesy of Mike Matheny and Joe Girardi and a couple of other people.
Mike Matheny and Joe Girardi are both like old school guys. They've been in the game for a
Oh,
long
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And they're both not taken.
Let me just remind everyone the reason why this is happening is because cheating has been rampant.
I don't think anyone's going to think that the Royals pitching is
Well, yeah.
using NFL.
Yeah, I think you look at the Royals pitching staff and their ERA, and you're like, yeah, they're good. They're clean.
They're
They're
good.
good. They're good. And you
that
can't
can-
look at the Indians starting rotation anymore because they're either all on the DL or they're down in AAA Columbus.
They either suck or they're hurt.
Yeah. So Savali is out for a month. That's beautiful.
With a finger strain.
Yes. Thank God it's only a strain. If it was anything else, he would have probably been out for the whole year with the
Broken
surgery
finger
and
on your
whatnot.
throwing hand, yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah.
How do you break it? Like how do you strain it? Like
Well, you can strain by gripping the ball too hard.
the one guy broke his finger with his shirt.
Yeah, he broke his thumb taking his shirt off because he's an idiot.
Which is just the most Cleveland thing that could happen.
Yeah, absolutely. McKenzie can't find the strike zone. Who was the Logan? Logan Allen is just horrible, and Shane Bieber has shoulder problems. So there's
I'd
your
like
starting
to-
five, all
I'd
in a
like
nutshell.
I like to pool like Indians fans right now and say name your 5 rotations and see what percentage of Indians fans could right off the top of their head without looking it up like you're doing right now.
Yeah, for the record,
Without looking it up.
no,
who their-
you can't. I mean,
can't.
it's impossible. I mean, okay, Sam Hentges, Cal Quantrill. Oh, who's the? We should have a game here. Know your Cleveland backup starters. Cal Quantrill, Sam Hentges, not De La Cruz. Crap.
I feel like I should be holding like the
Yeah, exactly. And this should be a sports Jeopardy question. Now I'm going to have to look instead for the answer for the other 3 knuckleheads that comprise the Indians' rotation. Now I'll tell you who the happiest person in the world is right now, and that would be the guy sitting over there. Because since we had a Skittles bet on the Indians not winning 85 games, especially if if these starters are all out for a long period of time, I'm screwed. 50 ways of Sunday.
And give the Indians credit; they're finding ways to stay afloat.
J.C. Mejia, Cal Quantrill, Sam Hentges, Eli Morgan, and we have no idea who the fifth starter is.
Eli Morgan sounds like a insurance agent.
Yeah, exactly.
Call your local Eli Morgan State Farm agent.
Call your local State Farm agent, Eli Morgan, today. Like a good neighbor, Eli Morgan is there.
Myers Family Insurance agent.
There you go.
Or WRS Insurance
agent. There you go. Yeah, he's a WRS. He's the brand new WRS Wealth Advisors agent, Eli Morgan. He will take you through all the bumps and whatever of life. So according to Zach Maisel, who does a really nice job covering the Indians, J.C. Mejia pitches tonight against the Twins. Which JC is going to stand for, Jesus Christ, if he throws about 5 home run balls. Cal Quantrill is going to pitch on Friday, Sam Hentges on Saturday, and Eli Morgan, broker, on Sunday. Yeah. I'm just really looking forward to seeing this series against Minnesota with these 4 guys pitching.
And not a good record-wise Minnesota team, but right now
they're playing well.
Yeah,
they're playing well right now. And then Monday is a mystery person, which is kind of interesting because there's a guy in Columbus that pitched last night. He would probably fill the spot on Monday. He's been up and down like a yo-yo. And while I'd love to see him stay in Columbus because he needs to, this is an emergency. Tristan McKenzie, come back up and pitch on Monday, and then there would be your starting rotation until everyone gets back.
Day, though.
Well, I mean, Monday should be a lot of everything. Ugh, goodness. This is ridiculous, but this is what happens when you have a rash of injuries and or guys that didn't cut the mustard and they're back in Columbus.
Yeah. Well, by the way, the Royals walked 12 Yankees yesterday.
How long was that game? You get 12 walks. I mean, you got to figure that game took about 9 hours to play.
And the Yankees walked 5.
Yeah, that had to have been a long game.
All
right, hang on a second because I have the paper in front of me and the box scores are always in the paper. Got to get
lost on a walk-off, 6-5.
Well, actually, it's late when they don't even have the box score in the paper. That's beautiful. Yeah. So let's.
I don't think it eclipsed 4 hours. I think it was still in the 3 hour.
Let me do the backup thing here, and let's go on the app. Go to the MLB app, and we'll figure out how long this game was. Within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, one way or another. Give me the time on the game.
3 hours and 42 minutes.
Ooh, man, you're good. 2 minutes off. 3 hours and 40 minutes on the game in which the New York Yankees defeated the Kansas City Royals. Kansas City scored 2 times in the top of the 9th inning to take a 5-4 lead on the Bronx Bombers, only to watch the Yankees win it. Gary Sanchez.
Sanchez hit the tying home run, I believe, and then there's a runner on second, and I think what's his name? Voit hit a double off the wall.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
Well, the fact that Sanchez homered, I have Sanchez on my YSU fantasy, American League only fantasy baseball
been doing
team.
Well for you.
Oh, I know he stinks. My whole team stinks.
I'll tell you, he's never been known for a defensive catcher at all. Like that's like the bottom of his attribute list is his defense. But when Aroldis Chapman came in, that inning could have been a lot worse because he was putting balls in the dirt like it was his job. Like the worms were looking for real estate outside of the
Yeah. Here's my team. This is how god awful I am. Gary Sanchez is behind the dish. Now this is just for offense only. Because the 10 hang on a second, let me go back here. The 10 things that we're matched up on, The most runs scored by your team, the most home runs hit that week, the most RBI, the most steals, and the highest batting average for the offensive side. For the pitching side, 5 things: the most cumulative strikeouts by your entire pitching staff, the least amount of walks, most saves, lowest earned run average, and lowest whip. So those are the 10 things. My team consists of straight garbage. I have Gary Sanchez behind the dish, Carlos Santana at first, Jonathan Scope at second, Moncada from the White Sox at third base, Torres at shortstop from the Yankees. I have an outfield of Mitch Haniger. I have Justin Upton. I have Brett Gardner. I have Seth Brown, Jake Bowers, Ahmed Rosario, and the Crawford guy, the shortstop for the Mariners. I have 2 big thumpers on the disabled list, Mike Trout and Frenmil Reyes. So my power is essentially kaput. And my pitching staff is even worse.
Well,
Plesac is on the disabled list, so is Pineda, so I don't have them. McKenzie's in Columbus, so he's pretty much, I should get rid of him, but I don't want to because I still think Tristan is going to actually amount to something.
this year?
Yeah, this year. Yeah, I think he will. Ryu from Toronto, Montero, the closer from Seattle, who sucks. Emmanuel Clase, who's not used as a closer. Thanks a lot, Tito. Justice Sheffield, he's garbage. Brad Keller, who might as well be Helen Keller, because he's
That Brad Keller is
from the Royals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he has an ERA over 6.
Yeah,
and
he
he's
started
pitching.
this-
And he's pitching today.
he started the season by giving up like 6 runs in the first inning, and I said, well, this is going to be a long year.
Yeah, that's just welcome to my world. I'm having a terrible year.
Well, you know what? It sounds like you could use a fantasy sports talk show with some experts to help you guide you along the way.
Indeed.
Luckily,
Yes.
YSN has announced that coming soon, we will have For the Franchise, which is our new fantasy sports talk show that will be airing on the weekends, I believe. So stay tuned to that. It will not feature Ron Podesta. 'Cause he obviously is.
no kidding. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just like, why am I doing this? I'll watch the game, but why am I doing this? I'm getting killed. I'll tell you the guy that is really good, at least in our on our fantasy team, is Schmidt.
Oh, really?
Oh my God.
How's your Stowski doing?
I'm playing him this week, and he's not doing much better than I am. He's actually below me, beneath me.
You are beneath me, good sir.
You are beneath me, good sir. Your Stowski's 2-8-1. I'm 2-7-2. Schmidt's 9-2. I mean, he's on the top of the penthouse, just looking down on everyone and saying,
And that's you win each week, right? So
You win
that's
each week.
11
weeks. Yeah, we've had 11 weeks,
11
and
weeks of
we're now getting the ball rolling for the. Well, we're already in the second time through.
You need to make some moves, Ron.
Well, I'm
some of
kind
these
of
diamonds in the
I'm
rough.
kind of looking to see if I can at the trade deadline make someone's day. But I mean, I get Trout, who's untradeable right now. He's on the DL, and he's untradeable because he was my first pick overall. Apparently, I'm not allowed to trade my first round pick. It's a weird league. But he was my first pick because I had the first pick overall. Oh, well, I'm going to take the best player not only in the American League, I'm going to take the best player in baseball. He goes down with a calf injury. Yeah, thanks a lot, Trout. So, I mean, he started the season hitting well over 400. I'm like,
All right.
indeed, this is good.
How long is he down for?
He's down for another month because of his calf injury, or at least I think he is. But as soon as he gets off the DL, as soon as Frenmil Reyes gets off the DL, my return to the top of the standings. All I need to do is get into the top 4. And then the final 2 weeks of the regular season is reserved for the playoffs, where the top 4 teams, 1 will play the 4, the 2 will play the 3, and then you'll get a champion here at some point. So, but I got to get in the top 4. I got a long way to go.
How many are there?
9.
And you're like
7th.
second to last?
Yeah,
seven.
I'm in
There are
7th.
two people-
Yorstowski's in second to the last.
Two people beneath you.
Yeah, I've got 2 people beneath me. Yorstowski's one of them. So, and I already beat him down one time in this ridiculous league. I'm hoping to get another one here.
You know, the only Royal that's worth anything right now this year is Salvador Perez. Whoever has him,
Yeah,
Good
you're
job.
you're in a pretty
I
good
think
spot.
he has like 18 home runs. He's hitting
Yeah.
like 280.
Yeah, you're in a pretty good spot. So, all right. So while you guys were, I don't think you were doing the power hour. While the boys were doing the power hour, Pops and I went golfing.
You know, I got to meet your dad,
Yes.
which was a moment because I was like, man, I always hear about this guy.
Yeah.
He looks really good for his age. And
Yeah.
I won't be the one to say it because I know you've gotten in trouble sometimes.
Yeah, he for the age that he is, and I've already announced it. So
looked
he's
like
88.
He looked like he was moving a little bit better than you sometimes.
Yeah, he has a new knee, so and he shoots, he hits the ball pretty well for a guy in his 80s.
Talk to his guys, see if I can get new knees, new shins, new femurs, new everything.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, hang on a second. It's going to take a couple of years, but as soon as I'm get done with all this new hardware, I want to get out of this chair and kick your ass. Is what I'm going to do. Yeah. So we go golfing on the North Course the first 9 holes because we only wanted to play 9 holes because Mom was fixing a pretty decent dinner and we wanted to get home at a reasonable time. So we start golfing, and I hit the ball extremely well. First 2 holes, I bogeyed the first hole, which was a par 4, wound up being 5 for me, and I actually parred a really tough second hole. I was like, holy crap, this is, I don't know what to say. I've been listening to Brian Tolnar, and I've been hearing some of the stuff, writing some of the stuff down. I'm like, man, I'm using this stuff. It's actually working. Not too shabby. I go to the par 3 third hole. It's about 150 yards, something like that. So I take out my 5 iron, and I'm like, okay, I think I can do a pretty good job here. And I positioned myself wrong, hit the ball into the woods. I'm like, no. I'm going to take my drop shot from here. Second shot, pin high, 10 feet away, lands on the green. 3 bunkers all around this green. It lands on the green, and I'm like, I'm golden. 10 feet from the hole, no problem. I'm going to get a par here, and everything is going to be wonderful. And that's when the roller coaster went right to the top, and that's when we went 4-putted from 10 feet away. 4-putted. Yes, 4 putts to get a ball to go 10 feet into that blessed hole. So what should have been a par.
Far the first time?
I hit a ball, and I don't know what the hell happened. It went right past the hole and kept on rolling.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And I wound up 4-putting.
Did you short it the next time?
I did, absolutely. And then a makeable 5th went and out. So, and I tapped it in for 6, and I told my father.
But did you recover from that?
I did for one hole. I did for one hole. Again, on the green and 4, on a par 4. Very makeable bogey putt. Again, within 10 feet. Very makeable bogey putt. And I clipped the ball, not straight, but I clipped it on the heel of the thing. And it kind of did a little shimmy 2 or 3 feet and then spun around like a top and then stopped. And I'm like, what the is going on here? So I tapped that in for bogey, and then I just lost it. I 8 holes 5, 6, and 7. Just not a very wonderful experience there.
So
and then I came back the final 2 holes, and I think I was 2 or 3 over the final 2 holes. So I wound up shooting in the 56, I think it was. Those 3 8s just killed me. Yeah, they were horrible. But I was 1 over with an opportunity to get a par and be 1 over par for 3 holes, which would have been a 10 for 3 holes. And, yeah, it would have been a 12. I'm sorry. 1 over would have been a 12. 1 under's the 10. I would have had a 12 through 3 holes, and I 4-putted from 10 feet away, mind you, on the 3rd hole. I was pissed. That was the end of my day. It went downhill progressively after that.
Brian needs to give you a tip on how to stay mentally composed.
I think he did 2 weeks
did
ago.
He do that? Okay.
He did 2 weeks ago, and it obviously went in one ear and out the other.
It went one headphone, and
Yeah.
you had like a malfunction in the other headphone.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that.
These are supposed to keep sound in, and the one ear must be malfunctioning because it's
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, that was it was not a pretty sight. It was just not a pretty sight. Kind of like my.
Well, how'd your dad do then?
Oh, I beat him.
You beat him?
Oh yeah, I beat him. I didn't think there was going to be any doubt in that. I just was kind of hoping that I would have broke 50. But he again, for a guy that's in his 80s, hits the ball pretty well, and he hits it straight, which pisses me off. I don't know how he's able to hit a ball straight. But he has a. I think there's another story is he has a driver, and my driver is graphite, but it's not really super graphite-y. His is. So I never asked him to borrow his driver, but the first hole, I wanted to try to hit my driver because my problem with my driver is I can never get the ball straight. It's always hit the ball and it shoots to the right, and it doesn't matter if I'm angling to the right, which Brian Tolnar has said, angle to the right, hit the ball, it's going to go to the left. Even when I angle the ball to the right, it goes further to the right. So I'm not getting enough backswing on the ball, or I'm not getting enough. I'm swinging way out here instead of hitting it straight or solid like I do with my 3-wood. So I asked my dad, I'm like, all right, can I borrow your driver for a second? He's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, this thing's light as a feather. What the hell? He goes, oh, yeah, it's got loft on it. You should be able to put the ball in the air, and you should be able to hit it straight. Okay. Bend down, put the ball in the thing. But I think it was the 5th hole. I decided to do this. Took a shot. Ball went straight up in the air, straight down, about 100 yards. I'm like, what the hell did I do wrong? He goes, you obviously, and he looks at me in a smart-ass way. Obviously, you hit it or you teed it up just a little bit too much. I'm like, oh, okay. Here you go, smart guy.
Obvious.
Show me how to do this. He goes, did that ball travel further than yours? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it did. Shut up.
Damn, I love him already. That's great. Did that travel further?
Wait, hang on a second. Did that ball travel further than? I think it did. It did.
He's like the happy. Somebody's closer.
Yeah. And I was like, is this scorecard right? Mm-hmm.
Scoreboard.
Yeah. Well, which kind of like what Trae Young did last night. Oh, yeah. In the game against Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals. Trae Young is acting kind of swaggerish these days.
Is that a word?
I don't know, but
I just made up. All words are made up words, ladies and gentlemen.
He is having himself a fun Eastern Conference playoffs.
Don't let anyone ever tell you, oh, you're just making up words, because every word is a made up word. Someone made it up at some point.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. I want to see you put swaggerish on the Scrabble board.
I'm gonna put swaggerish on the back of my wheelchair.
Yeah, there you go.
Swaggerish.
Yeah, he was getting some grief from Bucks fans late in the game last night, and his response pointed up to the scoreboard and said, "You have something to say to me?" Because the Hawks were winning. All right.
How about the fact that none of these teams left have won a title since the merger?
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
so we're getting someone new.
Absolutely.
As much as I don't like watching the NBA, at least we're getting a new team in the championship.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be someone winning a title that hasn't done it for a really long time.
Yeah,
Which is good for any sport.
Yeah, the Los Angeles Clippers, who started out as the Buffalo Braves, they're in they're in the Western Conference Finals for the second time in club history, and they're playing the Phoenix Suns, who haven't been to an NBA championship since Barkley was playing, and that series is 2-0 Phoenix. The series goes back to L.A. tonight, Game 3, and then you have Atlanta, who I don't believe has ever been to an NBA final. And that franchise started in St. Louis.
I think they won one in St. Louis.
Yeah, in St. Louis they did. Lenny Wilkens, the player, led them to a championship.
Once again, the pre-ABA NBA merger.
Yes, long time ago.
All these franchises.
And the Milwaukee Bucks, whose only championship was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Wasn't even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was Lou Alcindor, and he played with Oscar Robertson, two of the all-time greats, and that was their only NBA championship, and I think it was 71-72 or 72-73.
The merger was 77, right?
Yeah, no, this was before the merger as well. This was before the merger as well. So yeah, we're going to have. I don't know what it's going to do for the ratings because you don't have Steph Curry, you don't have LeBron, you don't have KG, or KD. I'm sorry, you don't have.
At least you have Kawhi. But he's hurt.
But he's hurt, so
Is he hurt for the whole series?
Oh, I'm sure he's probably not going to play the entire series. You got Chris Paul,
he's hurt,
he's supposed to be playing in Game 3. We'll see.
You got
You got Trae Young. You got Antetokounmpo.
Who's the guy from the Bucks? I can't think of his.
Antetokounmpo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the Greek freak.
The Greek freak.
And then you have Booker from the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker.
Oh yeah.
And you have good Lord.
This is why it's bad.
Yeah, no, the Clippers. I mean,
we've all proven a point.
No, the guy that's hurt, Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, well, we started with that.
Yeah, so it's not like you have basketball royalty per se.
And your two probably most known players are either hurt or not 100%. Like Chris Paul didn't play in Game 2.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh.
Now the cool thing with Atlanta, 2 years ago they were as bad as the Cavaliers.
But when a sport is losing a little bit of traction like the NBA is, I think it's good to have franchises that haven't been excited in a while get excited about something. Because then Laker fans are always going to be fine, and so are the Celtics fans, and so are the
Golden State.
They're all going to be fine. Now you get Atlanta fans excited about something. Now you get Phoenix fans up and excited. So I think it's good for the sport going forward to have a little bit more fan bases really emotionally invested in.
I got to be honest. I'm going to be watching the NBA playoffs now. I'm just going to sit back and go, okay, I'm going to root for the Clippers because Ty Lue is coaching the Clippers, and he's a really cool guy, and I know him. So
I got to root for the ATL, my friend.
Well, the ATL is just a fun franchise.
404 the culture.
Yeah, they're a fun franchise, and again, 2 years ago they were as bad as the Cavaliers, and in 2 years they've not only become a good team. They're on the precipice of going to the NBA Finals.
People always ask me if I have an NBA team, and I don't really. But if I did have to pick one, unfortunately, I'd probably have to pick the Kings because at least they were from Kansas City originally.
True.
And I would ride that.
Yeah.
I'm not a bandwagoner obviously because I'm a Royals fan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, and maybe the Clippers is kind of a Buffalo thing because they were originally the Buffalo Braves.
Maybe one day Kansas City can get a basketball team again.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Where would they play those games?
The Sprint Center.
Okay. All right.
Probably.
I've been in that arena.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually a really nice arena.
When the March Madness tournament is there.
Yeah.
They play in the Sprint Center.
I was there. I got to turn my man card in at this point.
You were at Disney on Ice, weren't you?
No. My ex and I were in
Ballerina.
Kansas City. She was doing a job for her workplace. She was doing a job, and while we were there, we saw Coldplay in concert at the Sprint Arena.
That's not terrible. I mean,
I'll tell you what, they put on one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. They were actually really good, even though they're faux rock according to the Headbangers. They're faux rock. Good songs.
There are a couple of songs I'll jam to.
Yeah, no, it was a good concert, but we went to the Sprint Arena for that. That's a nice arena.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it's a really nice arena.
Right downtown. And they have a not an NHL hockey team, but the
AHL.
Then I think they play in the Sprint Center.
Yeah,
the Blues.
It's St. Louis's farm team.
No, it's the Blades. I think it's the Blades.
Okay,
I don't remember.
Is it St. Louis's farm team?
I don't know. I don't know much because they're not playing them in the summer when we go down there.
Yeah,
so I don't know much.
I passed by Kauffman Stadium in Arrowhead.
Yeah,
and the parking lot.
Right.
Which separates the two. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? You brought up hockey. The same thing with the NBA is going on in the NHL right now. When we had Callahan on the last week, he had said, okay, it's the coronation. Tampa Bay is going to take on Vegas. And I asked him, I said, is there any chance the Islanders and Montreal can really make some noise here? If there's one, it's going to be the Islanders. Let's back the bus up here for a second because Tampa Bay is on the precipice of getting eliminated tonight.
Right.
Game 6, I don't know what the hell's going on in Tampa, but not Tampa, Vegas, I'm sorry. Tampa Bay and the Islanders are tied at 3 games apiece, and the Islanders have played their ass off in this series. I mean, it's been a fun series. But Vegas is on the precipice of getting beat by the Montreal Canadiens.
They're both elimination games, right?
This one's Game 6.
Yeah, but the next one for New York and
that's Game 7, which is going to be must-see TV.
Right.
But Game 6 is tonight in Montreal. Now, they don't have a full capacity crowd because Canada's not anywhere close to we are in terms of their ability to stop COVID quite yet. So they're not at full capacity. But they're supposedly going to let in about a third or half of the crowd. So that place will be jumping because the Canadiens are one win away from being the dead last team in the Canadian division to go all the way to the Stanley Cup.
I had to Google hard because I was looking at the Canadian logo the other day because they were talking about them on SportsCenter, and I was like, why in the world is there an H in the middle of their... Anyway, like hockey's obvious, but I was like, is it really just as obvious as it just means hockey? And it is. The H stands for the hockey because I guess their official title is the Montreal Hockey Club. And like they used to be like the logo used to be like the CAC, the CAC. And me and my brother were like, good thing they changed it because now they don't have to call themselves the CAC anymore.
Yeah. So my wish of having a Canadian team in the Stanley Cup this year just might come true. Just might come true.
You're rooting for a team that's not American?
Oh, I'm hoping the Canadians win the cup.
You Canadian spy.
I am.
Well, I'm wearing a USA hat.
Yes. I'm rooting for the Canadians.
I'll tell you what.
I'm sorry. That's their sport. I'm rooting for the Canadians. It's now, if Toronto ever wins another World Series again, I might have to be really postal about it because it's not their sport. It's our sport. But I want to see a Canadian. Yeah, it is. It's our sport. The Canadians don't know anything about baseball. It's too damn cold up there to play baseball. You stay on the ice and do your Eskimo igloo thing.
You just went from back in Canada to this. You were the Canadians were your biggest fan, and then they just went, well, what the heck?
Well, don't mess with our baseball. We won't mess with your hockey. That's there
Except
you go.
We've been messing with their hockey.
Well, this is true, and we've been trampling on their rinks for quite a while. We've been winning every Stanley Cup for the last 25 years.
Oh yeah, it's Canadian sport.
It's Canadian sport. So I root for the Canadians in this tournament. Winning. It's kind of like, and I hate to say this, I don't root for the United States men's soccer team.
Well, they're hot garbage.
Yeah, they are.
Right now.
I mean, it's just...
But it's really sad because there was a time when they were like they were
okay.
when Donovan was there.
Yeah, they were okay.
Now it's like they can't even qualify for the World Cup. Qualify. They were like a couple of years ago, the like 2 World Cups ago, they lost to like one of the Canary Islands or something like that to and I was like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah, and instead of a tie, it was a tweet. Canary tweet. Yeah,
I don't think it was really a Canary. It was just one of the Caribbean island countries that I can't remember. It wasn't Jamaica, but it was like a small island country they lost to qualify for the World Cup.
Well, I can't really say anything about that because my Italian team didn't even qualify 4 years ago or 2 years ago because they have the Euro Cup. It's the Euro Cup in the even years. No, this is an odd year, and the World Cup in the every 4 years.
I don't even know. I wonder if did the men's team make the Olympics?
I don't know.
For us?
I have no idea.
Definitely the women's team did.
Yeah.
Because the women's team is riding high right now.
I know that the men's basketball team will be the heavy favorites to win the gold medal. Kevin Love is playing for the U.S. Olympic team.
Men and women's basketball are going to be just like almost the one sport that the United States has absolutely dominates. There's no reason.
Yeah, since '92 when we had the whole entire NBA All-Star group decided, hey,
we got sick of being poo-pooed on by the world. Well, we're better than you about.
Yeah.
Are you?
Oh, really? Okay. Well, let me throw out our best of the best against your amateurs, and we'll see how this works.
We'll see. Let's get out there.
Yeah. But I saw Kevin Love is going to play for Team USA, and I'm like, okay, wait a second. You didn't play very many games with the Cavs, but now you're okay to play.
Oh, absolutely.
In the Olympics. Okay. All right.
Who's coaching the Olympics? Is it Kay?
I think Krzyzewski is. Yeah.
So it's going to be his last go around.
Yeah, I think he is coaching this team. Yeah. So.
USA.
I'm waiting to see if the Italians can win the Euro.
We put out on social because our partners at 21FMJ will have the Olympics.
Indeed.
We put out what event are you most looking forward to in the Summer Olympics? So do you want to? What event do you kind of say like this is the must watch? I have to set my DVR. I can't miss.
I got to be honest. I don't watch the Summer Olympics nearly as much as I watch the Winter Olympics.
But you are because they're on our partners.
Oh no, I will watch. Don't get me wrong. I love the Olympics. I mean, I guess I'm one of the few people that will actually watch a lot of events on TV. But swimming is always cool because that's a.
I watched the trials last weekend, and Ledecky is just ridiculous.
Yeah. By the way, the lead announcer for the swimming for the Olympics is a good friend of mine from the Southern League. Patrick Keenis was the broadcaster for the Carolina Mudcats when I was in West 10. He has been on Westwood Radio doing Olympic coverage, and now he's flipped over to TV, and he will be doing the swimming coverage for the Tokyo Olympics on TV. So that's going to be pretty cool. So that should be fun. DJ just handed me 4 tickets to see the Scrappers, and I'm going to say Friday night because it's fireworks night on Friday. These are complimentary tickets, upper box seats. They must be redeemed at the Chevy All-Stars box office. Now, if you wanted to upgrade to a lower box, it's $1 more per ticket. And if you wanted to update even more to a premium box, it's $3 more per ticket. But we got 4 tickets to the Scrappers game on Friday night to, let's say, the first caller who wants to call in and talk about local sports.
Do we want to? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's say we're going to pop up a trivia question off the top of our heads, or do we want this to be the first?
Yeah, we'll just give it to whoever calls in and wants to talk sports.
Caller number 1.
Yeah, caller number 1.
Like
there you go.
DJ now.
Yeah, there you go.
We are not a radio station.
No, we are not.
That's why you see our faces.
Yeah. Contrary to what Rivers says, we are not a radio station. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. Call in. And the first caller that does call in to talk some sports, you got 4 complimentary tickets to Friday night's Scrappers game. You just got to redeem these at the Chevy All-Stars box office. These complimentary tickets are good for 4 upper box seats. If you want to spend $1 more per ticket, you can get a lower box seat. If you want to spend $3 more per ticket, you get a premium box.
So those are we're giving those away. So if you just pay $3, you're getting a premium box seat.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's, you can actually redeem these at any time, but if you want to go Friday night, that's cool. If you want to go Saturday night and see the other fireworks display, that's cool.
Fireworks Friday and Saturday.
Yes, the fireworks from a week ago tomorrow were not shot off because there was a bunch of wind going on.
Right.
And the last thing you want is to have a firework start here and end up way back here. And on its way down, it explodes, and then the parking lot gets engulfed in flames. We don't want to see that.
A week from tomorrow, I'm going to be leaving for Kansas City, and I know you're going to
Gates
be
barbecue
excited.
sauce. Yep, Gates barbecue.
So you're going to be excited for that.
Give me just give me, instead of one of each, now give me 2 bottles of the regular barbecue.
Not the spicy?
Yeah, now the spicy, it's
too much.
I gave it to my I put it on wings for my dad, and he looked at this and he was like, "Oh, this looks really good." And then he was just like, "Yeah, no, not happening." I'm like, "Too spicy?" He goes, "Yeah, a little bit." I'm like, "Okay."
But did he like the original?
Oh, he loves the original. Yeah. He's like, "Where the hell did you get this?" And I'm like, I got connections. It's kind of like yesterday. He goes, "How the hell did you get on this golf course? It's a zoo." I got connections, Dad.
I got some cash, eh?
I got some cachet here. And we want to thank Brian Tolnar for getting me and Pops on the golf course. I mean, it was a zoo yesterday with the youth outing and whatnot, but he was able to squeeze us in. So, muchas gracias, sir. All right, let's take a timeout. On the other side, we'll take some phone calls. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. If you call in, I got 4 tickets to a Scrappers game of your choice. Now, if you want to go on Friday night, that's fireworks on Friday night after the game, and it's supposed to be really, really nice.
But those tickets can be redeemed at any time,
It can be redeemed anytime during the course of the 2021 home season.
Yeah, okay, we'll stipulate that in case someone's like, I'm going to use these in 2023.
Yeah, no, you're not going to use them in 2023 because they're only usable in 2021. All right, we'll take a timeout. First caller that calls in and talks some local sports will get you some 4 tickets to a Scrappers game of your choice. MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. We're back in a bit. Stick around.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we go the extra mile for you.
By finding you the right vehicle at the right price.
And by being with you for every mile of your journey.
Visit greenwoodchevrolet.com and tell us how we can go the extra mile for you.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Bad credit, no problem. I can get you approved for a low-interest loan and maybe even a low-payment lease on a new car at the #1 Chevy dealership in Trumbull County for 3 years in a row. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved or come see me, Tony Page, to get a new vehicle today. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Jimmy Sudman here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and 2 of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Hey, welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Ron Potesta with you alongside Anthony Hardwig. Tonight's the night. The last go-around for the seniors who played football in 2020. We've got the Penn, Ohio game, which was not played last year thanks to COVID, screwing the class of 2020 out of their last game. But we have the final go-around for most of the seniors. Although some of them will be playing college football, most of them, this is going to be their last go-around. It's going to be a fun game tonight at East Liverpool. We'll have the game on ysnlive.com as DJ and Matt will be doing the game from East Liverpool. This could be a fun game. Pennsylvania has owned Ohio in this series, but Ohio has done pretty well the last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, and we also have interviews with some players popping up today, so make sure to get ready for the game by going and watching what some of our local athletes have to say about the game and what it means to them to be suiting up tonight.
Yeah, and I think that DJ just had an interview with Marco Ferri, Letonia's all-time leading rusher. He's headed to Ohio State. His football days are over with. He and his twin sister Taryn are now going to go education. I mean, they did finish top 2 in their class.
Right.
So, they're going to.
How about that? Like, whoop.
Yeah. The
Very,
twins
very
finished 1, 2. So I think Taryn finished 1, and Marco finished 2. So, but they're going to go. They're both going to go to Ohio State.
You know how most siblings like compete over sports or whatever. You think that was the internal competition in the Ferry household?
Well,
which one finished first in the grade?
Yeah, I think that was the tiebreaker because they were both really good athletes at Leetonia. I mean, Taryn did a real nice job playing softball and basketball, and I think she played volleyball too.
Marco can't come up and be like, "Hey, Taryn, want to go play football?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like they can play basketball and one-on-one.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
They can They can't really do one-on-one softball or baseball either.
I think she'd strike him out in softball.
I don't think she was she a pitcher.
No, but I'm pretty sure she'd strike him out in softball. Just saying, Marco. I think he ran track. I don't think he played baseball.
I'm thinking of a race.
No. Marco was pretty quick. I was surprised that he didn't want to go and play college because I think he would have been really, really fun to watch in a college uniform.
With all he went through, and the education he has, the ability to get himself at Ohio State with the grades that he's put up. I'm guaranteeing that there's some kind of financial help for Ohio State with those kind of grades.
Yeah.
You can't pass that up. I'm sure that his body is probably telling him, like...
Well, you average 35 carries a game for a year and a half.
Dealt with some injuries.
Yes.
And it can really tear you down. Football can tear you down in a really quick way.
Yeah, and he had a heck of a good career at Leetonia. My God.
But, man, what a bright future. I mean, bright future, not even if it's not on the field, bright future for both those young people going to Ohio State, getting a great education.
Yeah, and their parents, they're both salt-of-the-earth people.
Mm-hmm.
Danny's been a friend for at least 45 years. Can say the same thing for Caroline. Just really, really good people. And the 4 kids that they have, Trent, the oldest, at one point was, and I think he still is, the most prolific scorer in basketball at Leetonia High School. I believe he broke that record. Roman is a hell of a football player.
I think we might have a winner.
Yeah, and then Marco and Taryn. So, all right, let's get to the phone lines real quick. Thanks for waiting. You're on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. What's going on?
Here to win some Scrappers tickets.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, what's on your mind today?
Ready to see a baseball game.
There you
Awesome.
go. All right.
So who's this?
What was that?
Who is this?
John Irvin.
All right. We will make sure that you are given these 4 tickets that are usable at any Scrappers game in the 2021 season. Starting Friday, they're home Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right, Ron?
Yes, they're playing this weekend against West by God, Virginia. Fireworks after the game on Friday night, fireworks after the game on Saturday night, and Sunday it's a 4:05 game. So you get 2 7:05 games and a 4:05 game this weekend. So tell me what day you want to go, and we'll get these tickets to the will call window and put them in your name.
Let me get back to you real quick on that.
Okay.
Right. Just send YSN a message, all right?
All right, thank you.
You got it,
You're
brother.
welcome.
All right, so there you go. A healthy winner in our contest.
There you go.
And we'll get him to figure out what day he wants to go and go from there. Yeah, that's
winner,
always
winner,
good.
Winner. And what's the best dinner to have at the Scrappers? What do you think?
Oh,
Pizza
man.
Joe's dinner?
Well, I mean, you can't beat a good hot dog and a beer at the ballpark. You can't beat hamburgers.
Winner, that doesn't really
Winner, nacho dinner.
Winner, Pizza Joe's dinner.
There you go.
I like that.
All right. Yeah, Pizza Joe's was good. By the way, did you see when we had the tournament director on how the face lit up when we said before you leave the area, you got to try our pizza because, and I will pound this into the pavement to anyone who does not live in this area. There is no question in my mind we have the best pizza in the Midwest, if not the entire United States. Our pizza is better than Chicago. It's better than New York. It's better than Buffalo. It's better than Rochester. Although my Bills people in Buffalo seem to believe their pizza's good. I said, I've tried your pizza. not that good.
Everyone-
not comparable to Youngstown.
Everyone thinks there's pizza's good, but
Yeah.
we can prove it.
Yeah, you haven't been to Youngstown, so
I've been to a lot of. I think Florida is probably the worst pizza destination.
yeah, because of the
Like,
water.
There's some local pizza shops on the beach. Like I went to Cocoa Beach.
Yeah.
It's just not great.
No, when I went to a pizza place that we will not mention because they're not an advertiser with us, and I asked them, I said, why haven't you guys branched out to other states, like say Florida or Tennessee or somewhere, I'm mentioning the two places that I've spent the most time in, of course. And they're like, well, we tried Florida, and the pizza was never as good because of the weather and the water.
It just doesn't make sense. Like how would? But it like I've been there. I've tried their pizza. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not good.
I said, well, then why don't you guys just have the bottled water? Like the old 5-gallon things that they have, like Culligan would, or one of the other water people has a 5-gallon little thing that you put on top of their contraption, and you get cold water or hot water. I'm like, why don't you try one of those things? Oh, those things cost money. I'm like, but your payoff would be enormous. The pizza sucks in Florida.
Especially if you go to a state where there's no good pizza. And
I know.
Making good pizza.
I mean, when I was in Nashville, this was when Callahan did hockey games for the Predators. And I was in Nashville for the winter meetings. I think this was, I want to say, 7 or 8 years ago. And he was still living in Nashville. So we go out for pizza. And he's like, you're going to love this pizza. And I'm like, Tom, I did grow up in Youngstown. Our pizza is really, really good. I mean, you don't know what you're talking. You don't know what exactly you're getting into here, because the pizza in Youngstown's really good. He goes, no. He says, trust me, this pizza, it's better than anything I've ever had in Buffalo. I'm like, okay, Buffalo pizza, no, not bad. This crap tasted like cardboard. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? This is garbage. He goes, man, this is good pizza. I mean, this is garbage. This isn't good pizza. I wouldn't give this to my worst enemy.
One of the worst pizza experiences. We got Pizza Hut one day.
Yeah.
And I swear to you, the crust tasted like. Remember that turpentine furniture?
Ooh, yeah.
The smell of that?
Yeah.
So I took one bite and I was like, this is kind of weird. But sometimes food tastes weird to me.
Yeah.
So I took another bite and I was like, this is just not right. And then I asked my brother, who got another pizza, is yours weird? And he's like, yeah, mine's weird too. And it had that I can't really describe turpentine.
Yeah.
But that's what it kind of tasted like.
So they were trying to kill you.
And we called, and they go, yeah, we've had a complaint about that before today too. And I'm like, you're still selling pizzas?
So they were Raiders fans trying to poison Chiefs fans.
And then 2 months later, that Pizza, no more.
Oh, Lord.
So we know what happened there.
Yeah, that's not good.
Oh, man. It's like, wait, you've gotten other complaints and you're still selling pizzas?
Yeah.
I bet some cleaner from the tray kind of fell down into the.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It was just.
No, thank you.
I stayed away from Pizza Hut for a while.
Well, I stay away from there at all costs because, again, there's too many mom and pop pizza places around here that do it better. I'm sorry, it's not even close. It's just, it is what it is. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. The Pirates had an opportunity to give the Indians another half a game, get the Indians a half a game closer to the White Sox. Unfortunately, they could not do it. The White Sox, they snapped their 5-game losing streak. They beat the Bucks last night 4-3. So the Indians, 2.5 games out of first place with the god-awful rotation of theirs, starting a series against Minnesota.
They're staying afloat, You got to give them credit for being able to just kind of keep their head above water with the injuries that they've been sustaining.
Yeah, Aaron Savali, he's going to be out at least a month, probably closer to 6 weeks, as he injured his middle finger.
The Indians have a pretty decent defense, and if you're a pitcher and you're not exactly great, but you can just pitch to contact and trust the defense to make plays, then you can still keep your head above water for about a couple of weeks until some pitchers come back.
Yeah, hopefully.
You just don't go out there and try to be, I almost said Justin Bieber. Don't try to be Shane Bieber. Just try to be pitch to contact guy, trust a good defense behind you.
Yeah, I just
What you gotta do?
I don't know now that the Indians are completely done with their rotation.
If the Indians somehow make the playoffs with what they've gone through this year, can we make Terry Francona the coach of the year?
Oh, there's no question.
I mean,
he's manager of the year if this team is even close to making the playoffs. With all the injuries that this team has had, oh my God. It's amazing to me that this team's only 2.5 games out of first place. Now you lose a guy that's led the major, or that is leading the major league in wins with 10.
You also add in the fact that he's dealing with some health issues too.
Yeah.
It's not exactly, he had to miss the last chunk of the 2020 season because of problems that he was having that weren't COVID related, but he wasn't in the dugout for those games. So not exactly a great situation for Terry to be in, but he's been putting in the work. So
yeah, and there's been a lot of talk whether or not he was going to be the manager of this team, because his health has not been good the last couple of years. But Tito's just one of these guys that I don't think he could live without the game of baseball. So that's why he's still managing, and he's one of the best in baseball.
He might have to go from manager to a front office position.
I think that's going to be his,
because that'll be less stress on you every day and everything. So this might, you hate to speculate, it might be his last year with the Indians.
Yeah, we'll see. He did sign an extension through 2023.
Well, there you go. Maybe
so, we'll see. We'll see. I hope that everything works out. I really hope that everything works out well. I just, man, this is going to be tough.
Especially with the White Sox playing as good as they're playing, which is weird, because remember the first 2 months of the season, no one was really running away with the division. Everyone was playing kind of mediocre baseball. And then all of a sudden, the White Sox were like, bam, 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 bam. They got it. They got it rolling.
Yeah, it's.
And the Twins are the biggest disappointment of the year.
They are, but now they're hot. So I don't know what I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think with
Not
this.
hot enough to get back. I think they've dug themselves too big of a hole to be relevant. They're 16 games back or something like that, maybe 12.
Well, they've been on a roll as of late. So I think the last time I checked, and what are they now? 12.5 games out.
They got to still be in fourth, right?
Now they're in the basement because the Tigers are getting hot. Apparently.
Here comes the bottom of the division. Running it down. Let's go.
Oh, Lordy. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Tigers are hot and cold because 2 weeks ago they were on a big losing streak, and now they're hot all of a sudden. That's baseball, right?
Yeah, that's baseball. I just
forget it, Johnny. It's baseball.
Look,
instead of Chinatown.
At the end of the day, I think that the Twins are going to be coming back into this pretty quickly.
Think so?
I don't think they're going to win the division.
You think they're going to become relevant though, trying to play meaningful baseball in August and September?
I think there's a chance they could. Now, they're going to have to get insanely hot for them to do it, because 12.5 games is a lot of games to make up. Now, the good news for them, they've got over 80-plus games to do it. So they've buried themselves pretty deep, but not deep enough for them to not get out of the ditch.
It's a long season. We still got 80-plus games. We're not even at the halfway point, are we?
No.
Feels like we've been playing baseball forever.
Yeah, it's hang on.
I love it.
Hang on a second. The Twins have a record of 31-42. So they've only played 73 games. They got 89 games left to play this year. And the Indians have played 71 games. So they have 91 games left to be played this year.
So we did already give away, if you're just joining us, we already gave away 4 Scrappers tickets for the next day. And, sometime in the future we'll continue to get tickets to try to give away to people. But thank you for our caller to call in and win the Scrappers tickets. And once we get your info, we'll leave these at will call for you. I think Ron will do that for you, and you'll be able to go to the game of your choice.
There you go. All right, we're going to take a time out. On the other end, we will take some phone calls on this Thursday edition of Running Points on ysnlive.com. Stick around.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
This is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle, why shop anywhere else but Tri-State Ford? Choose from our great selection of pre-owned vehicles. Plus, we've got you covered with our exclusive Tri-State Ford Advantage. It includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty with your pre-owned vehicle and much more. Come see why so many customers from the Tri-State area buy their pre-owned vehicle at Tri-State Ford.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
When Mother Nature starts flexing her muscles, make sure you're prepared for comfort. For over a decade, NDC Heating and Cooling has been sending their team of experienced, certified, and knowledgeable technicians to service the area. NDC services all makes and models and carries a wide selection of furnaces, air conditioners, and indoor air quality products. To schedule an appointment, call 330-457-2562. That's 330-457-2562. For all your residential and commercial heating and cooling needs in Columbiana or Mahoning counties, call NDC Heating and Cooling in New Waterford, Ohio, where our thermostat is always set on quality.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Ruud gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Ruud, and so should you.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Rain will come and go tomorrow. There'll be some dry intervals.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
60 years ago, Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods began with 3 siblings, a hand-set sawmill, and a few local orders. And while business has certainly changed over the years, what has not are our principles of hard work, craftsmanship, and commitment to quality. At Baird Brothers, we're proud to put our name on the products we create, from moldings and doors to flooring and lumber. Thank you for 60 great years. We look forward to 60 more. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we go the extra mile for you.
By finding you the right vehicle at the right price.
By giving you confidence in your vehicle with a Greenwood Advantage warranty.
By guaranteeing you financing,
regardless of your situation or credit history.
And by being with you for every mile of your journey.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we do whatever it takes to go the extra mile. So, how can we go the extra mile for you?
Welcome back to this Thursday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. The Penn, Ohio game is tonight down in East Liverpool. The game will be broadcast right here on ysnlive.com. DJ and Matt Seidel will be broadcasting the game. It's the best of the boys from Columbiana County against the best of the boys from Beaver County, and this should be fun. Pennsylvania has the series lead. Ohio's done pretty well for themselves the last 4 meetings.
Yeah, and we're excited about it. We're excited to be the presented by YSN and to have the game like DJ and Matt are going to be there, and then to also go down yesterday and talk to some of these players and to be able to get their feel for the game and how excited they are to kind of to be on this field and to put that uniform on again. So once again, check out YSN for those interviews, and we're super excited to have this game on the network tonight.
Yeah, lineups are at 6:30 tonight. That's when the lineups begin. So I think the game itself starts at 7 o'clock.
Little appetizer for football season.
Yeah, a little bit of appetizer for the football season, which, by the way, begins 8 weeks from today. Hard to believe. I don't want summer to be fast forwarding, but as I think Denny Liebert once said, it's not a quick from 8 weeks out. It's not very fast. But once the season starts, it is without question the fastest 10 weeks in sports. It just is. It's crazy how fast football season comes and goes.
Absolutely. I mean, last year, I know last year was shortened, but last year it felt like we were in the regional finals, and it was like, didn't we just start last week? And as fast as that season goes, that weather starts to turn.
Oh, I know. It turns just as quickly as well. Now, thankfully, for the most parts, last year, other than the quagmire, and we're not talking about the Family Guy character, the quagmire in week 1, it was actually really good weather for most of the football season.
Kind of chilly, but we never got any snowstorms or rain or lightning delays other than that week 1 that you were a part of.
Yeah, and we never had a delay. It was just
that, no delays, no terrible weather, no some cold nights towards the end, but nothing like frigid, like under freezing where you had to protect yourself from frostbite or anything like that. So.
It was a nice year. I mean, other than the fact that I was falsely accused of having a stroke in one of the football games.
We don't talk about that, Ron. We don't talk about that.
Oh, God. That was funny.
It was not funny.
Well, I mean, for me, looking back on it now, it was kind of hilarious because, my partner's kind of looking at me going, you all right?
You gave your partner a heart attack.
I think I might have. I think I might have. That was
poor Larry.
Yeah, that was Larry was kind of looking at me, and he was whiter than a ghost, and I thought I was white as a ghost back then. But yeah, that was interesting to say the least. Yeah. So looking forward to football 8 weeks from tonight.
Here in the month of June, football talk is rampant. It should be because football is starting to get their practices going. But June is also one of the most important months of the year for the basketball teams because this is summer camp months, and this is where you really get a preseason look at what your team's going to look like. The coaches get a lot of looks on what direction they should take their roster. I know it's still voluntary, so you don't get everyone there every game. But you get to kind of look at what players are going to take you seriously, what players are really going to be committed to the game, what players are going to fit in your scheme, and things like that. So June, very important for basketball. Maybe June and March, March tournament time and June in the summer, maybe the most important months of the year for basketball coaches and teams.
Warren JFK's head basketball coach, Coach Comlank, made a really, really cool statement on Twitter yesterday. He said, without June, you cannot play basketball competitively in March.
And that's what made last year so interesting, because in the summer, no one was able to have these basketball camps.
Yep.
Really. You were able to meet as a team, and you were able to do like individual workouts, but you weren't playing other teams in summer camps. And some teams navigated well, some teams didn't. But now we're back to normal, and the teams get to go and have their summer camps. And for someone like Jeff Fischel, who this is the first June he's been able to really work with his team at camps, because remember, he signed late his first season because they took their time to hire the right person. And then last year, of course, they didn't have summer camp. So Jeff Fischel at South Range, this is his first chance to really get his team into a summer camp and really work out the kinks in the whole month of June. They're down in Sandusky, and they're in the Elite Eight in the Bash and the Beach in Sandusky, Ohio.
And the schools that take June seriously are going to be the schools that we're going to be talking about in March.
Yes, the ones
and hoping that they get the ultimate trip to Dayton, which we have not had a guys team go to Dayton since Peyton Aldridge was a junior at LeBray High School, and that was a ways back. I think 2011, 2012 was the last year they went to a state tournament.
We had some LeBray teams after that really had a good shot. Didn't get there, but they had the talent to get there. So we've had some teams that have been on the precipice or been right there and then just couldn't quite crack that level at the regional final level. I mean, JFK last year got to the regional finals.
Got to the regional championship. Yep.
You could argue that they had the talent to get to the state if they didn't run into the one region that had the state champion, unbelievable team. If they were in a different region, then maybe they're talented enough to get to state.
Yeah, and oh, by the way, Richmond Heights has everybody back for this year,
of course
which do. Just...
Good
luck trying to get past Heights.
It doesn't always mean everything.
No, it doesn't. I mean, you can have that one night in high school basketball, just like any other high school sport. The $1 million question that no one has been able to answer because it's impossible to answer. Explain the psyche of a 15 to 18-year-old kid. Nobody can answer that question.
Sometimes I'm weary of teams that return everybody from a really successful season, because then you really have to fight complacency.
Oh, absolutely.
And complacency sometimes can really hamper the success of young kids, because it's easy for their heads to get kind of big.
No, complacency is an enemy when it comes to trying to build a championship team.
And it's the difference between teams that make it a deep run in the tournament one year to teams that make a program that make runs every year, and are those teams that no matter what their roster looks like, can really be a legitimate contender to get into the state tournament.
No, absolutely.
Teams like Highland.
Absolutely.
They're never complacent with the success they have.
I'm curious, do they host anything down there in the barn?
In the summer?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would hope that they would.
I know in the winter they have the Classic in the country.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because their basketball arena is to be... Anyone that is a fan of basketball...
You look up and you're like, banner, banner, banner,
yeah.
banner. You feel like a Marvel comic. There's Dr. Banner, Dr. Banner, Dr. Banner, Dr. Banner. Had to get my
your culture. Yeah, your pop culture reference just got hit. Very nice. No, it's a cool place. It is a really cool place to watch a basketball game. And they've got such a great program. But you're absolutely right on this. The month of June is where you are going to either start a great program, continue a great program, or lose a program.
And here's what was really cool. West Branch last week hosted a big week-long tournament for, I think there were 13 teams there. But West Branch had enough alums that wanted to help the program that they had an alumni team play in that tournament.
Okay.
So
how did they do?
You had a team with Melinda Trimmer, Peyton Heath, Zukowski that's playing at Sean. I mean,
okay. Yeah, you're just looking at this going, oh, all right. We're going to play against the mid-late 20-year-old crowd. Let's see what we can do. All right.
Oh, man. I didn't get a chance to see them play, but I'm sure they kind of took a chip on their shoulder we can show these young bloods.
Yeah.
We can show these young bloods how to do it a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, but there was no Uncle Drew in the
I don't think Uncle Drew came out of the woodworks. Don't reach, young blood. Yeah.
That's an interesting movie.
I never saw the movie. I just saw the commercials. The commercials made me laugh.
It was an interesting movie.
When he was want to switch sneakers? You got hospital shoes on right now. I was just Uncle Drew.
Yeah,
I never saw the movie.
Not a bad movie. I think Shaq was better at his part than Kyrie was as Uncle Drew. I think Shaq might have stolen the movie off of Kyrie.
And every time someone says Shaq, I just can't get past Kazam.
Yeah,
that was just.
Nah, he redeemed himself from that hot mess. But my favorite line, and I think he was using it just to put a jab at the late Kobe Bryant, but also to have some fun. Uncle Drew was hogging the ball, and Shaq was like, "Pass the ball, Kobe." Oh, very nice, very nice. Yeah, interesting movie to say the least. Chris Webber was in that movie as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Did he call a timeout?
Yeah, he almost did, which was kind of hilarious.
I'm surprised because he's usually he's the curmudgeon that doesn't want to talk to media, doesn't want to.
Yeah.
He's very reserved. So
yeah, and Reggie Miller was in it as well. Okay. So that was it was actually a pretty well done movie. It was pretty cool. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. As much as football season is fast approaching, as you said, Anthony, basketball, the month of June is just huge for basketball. And I look forward to the high school basketball season because there are some teams that will be right there ready to make that giant step forward in 2021, 2022.
And then as the summer goes on, we'll start to get into the mandatory practices for volleyball, which is going to be very exciting to see what teams can continue their success. Cressy's going to have a great program because Coach Howard just continues to pop out talent like it's her job, and it is her job. I think Austintown Fitch takes their volleyball super seriously. They'll have a great team. Canfield Fitch is a great rivalry. They'll probably have the same rivalry that they always do. So I'm excited for volleyball, too, because they start a little bit earlier than football, and they'll get girls in the gym starting. Actually, they probably have open gyms still going on now. But, they'll start getting scrimmages in as we get closer to August.
Okay, so I'm tempted. I don't know if I'm going to do this or not. But July 22nd, and I have to make this announcement because I think that this is in line with when we had John Mang on a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the official shortage all over across the board.
If Ron says he's going to be a volleyball official.
I am looking into the possibility of doing volleyball officiating.
Do you know, how many rules of volleyball do you know?
None.
All right. That'll be fine. Take the class.
Yeah, the volleyball course. 4 people have applied for the course. Kevin McKinstry, who is Mr. Volleyball around here, he is the instructor for the course, and John Mang is the assigner for those that graduate from this course will be eligible to officiate volleyball games, whether it's JV,
I'm
junior
scared to
high.
have you up on that platform.
Yeah, me on that platform would be kind of scary. and not to mention the fact, and again, I kid about this because I can. This is an easy target to pretty much drill at any point in time.
I've never seen an official up there get a direct hit from a volley. I've seen the ball bounce into him or go off the side of the net and then go into him, but I've never seen like a absolute missile from a server go right into the referee. But like this
is an easy target.
He might miss a call.
I miss a call, and then all of a sudden,
you're not going to get that girl touching the net. Okay, we'll get you.
Let me serve this thing up here.
Bam.
At 50 miles an hour. Toosh. I'm like, oh, okay. We're going to play like this. All right.
Runs down.
Yeah. So apparently this is on July the 22nd from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Volleyball officiating class view. The course details will be a minimum of 25 hours of instruction. The cost is $100. It will be taught in Canfield and taught by Mr. Volleyball, Kevin McKinstry.
You're going to have to learn all the rotation rules.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's rules here that everyone's going to have to...
then you're going to have to learn what the libero is and how to track it.
Again,
good luck.
I'm only thinking about this. I'm not saying that I'm going
you
all
away.
in. You are doing a good job of scaring me away of this.
Every sport has rules that if you're new to it, you're going to be like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
But it'll take you like a day to really, if someone immerses you into it, I don't think it's overly complicated.
I'm going to be immersed into the culture of volleyball.
It just seems complicated from people that don't watch it.
See, now, the out and in call.
That's easy. If it hits the line, it's out.
Yeah.
If it hits the line, it's in.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it's out.
Now, does the dude have a flag?
Most schools give you a flag. Some of the
So
schools,
if you do one of these numbers.
you have one flag, so it's out and in.
Oh, I'll rock the in. I'll be like.
Some people get really flashy with it. They'll be like,
yeah, I mean, you'll just do one of these things and.
I think they're doing the sound effect too. I really do. I think.
Yeah.
And then. And then. I would get some. And you'd see me over there like twirling the flag in the middle of the.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're gonna do the Bruce Lee thing. See, I'm going to have flashbacks of my grandmother beating me with a wooden spoon because she had black belt and wooden spoon.
Ron does like a little spin move.
Or we can be like Leslie Nielsen, the umpire, turn around, do a split. Is that in or out? It's in. What means in?
What means in? Oh, jeez.
So for those wanting to go to the volleyball course, it starts on July the 22nd.
Don't worry, Pete. Ron will probably start at like junior high volleyball. We'll get him because
and I'll get hit in the head by some seventh grader. That ball was in, clown. Respect your elders.
No,
I'm going to give you a timeout here in about 2 minutes.
When you're on the top, I think the main thing that you have to really, because when you're on the platform, I mean, the line judges see in, and then your down ref sees in. Double touches are the ones that those guys miss a lot. That I mean, if a setter goes up and doesn't hit it with both hands at the same time, and it's a double touch, you got to call it. Give them
So if you're like this,
you have to set
and it just goes here. Here and then up,
and they'll tell you in the course, like if you can see the rotation change, and if it's a really bad one, you can hear it. You can hear the boom.
Yeah.
But if you watch the rotation, almost every double touch, you can see the rotation change.
Yeah.
Rotation on a set shouldn't change at all. In fact, it should be silent. Like the best sets are the quiet sets. Right.
Yeah. If it's you're like, that's a two.
Yeah. Double.
That's two. That's double. It's a double. And we're going the other way. Oh, well, no, you picked the wrong sport, Rod. Okay, never mind.
God love the volleyball teams to get along just as.
All right, so 5:30 to 8:30, July the 22nd, the volleyball officiating class begins. Kevin McKinstry, who is a friend of the show and just Mr. Volleyball. I mean, he's other than you. He knows more about volleyball than anybody.
Is it in person or is it online?
It's in person. Yeah, now that COVID is kicked to the corner, everything's going to be in person now.
Ooh, but when you're you get to give coaches a red and yellow card. If they're getting out of hand, red card, you can feel like a soccer ref.
Red card means he's ejected.
Red card means you're out.
Oh, I'll have no sympathy for anybody. Now, you're not even getting a yellow card. You're going immediately to red. There is no yellow with this. You're going green, red. You're gone. See you later. Let's go to the phone lines. You're on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. What's going on? Okay.
Is that the Flutophone?
I don't know what that was. I have no idea. Yeah. So, all right. Good to know. I'll have a yellow card, Coach. This is a yellow card.
This is yellow.
Yeah. Will you accept this yellow card?
Will you accept?
Yeah, because if you don't, I got this red card and throw your ass out of the game. Now, you want to say anything more to me? I didn't think so. Let's play on.
Let's play on. I've never actually seen a coach get a red card.
I would hope not.
I've seen yellow.
Yeah.
I've seen the yellow pop out.
All right. Yellow's the stern warning.
Yellow's like, hey,
Yeah.
I hear you. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Sit down.
So yellow's kind of like I'm giving you a technical foul.
Right. Like, sit down.
Yeah. Because you screwed up Wellsville referee from 2 years ago, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, it is here because you just said it.
Well, listen, I mean, the kid's shot was legitimately blocked. Ball goes out of bounds. Nobody else touched it. And he has the balls to say it's Wellsville's ball.
Ron's that guy that can't let calls go from a seventh
I'm sorry. That was just horrible. One of the worst calls I've ever seen. And I didn't even swear. I just looked at him and I said, can I get backup? No, it's my call. I mean, well, you screwed the call up. I want backup. Well, no, we're going the other way. Are you friggin' kidding me? Boom. I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to play this way? All right. Let's make it official, Mr. Official. He goes, you're going to have to sit down. So about 5 minutes later.
Take a seat, Coach. That's when you pick it up and take it out of the gym.
Yeah, about 5 minutes later, I'm standing up and he's looking back at me and he goes, I told you to sit down. I said, I can't see anything because your partner's fat ass is in the way. Now, that should have thrown me out of the game, and unfortunately it didn't.
You didn't say that, did you?
I did say that. And it should have had me thrown out of the game, but he was being cool at that point.
That's like automatic gone.
Yeah, but he was being cool at that point, so I was just like, hey, I'm being honest here. This guy's fat ass is in the way. He's like, okay, I see your point.
In a couple of games where for one reason or another we can't broadcast, I take my camera and shoot for the story and everything, and it's like every time I set up somewhere, I swear the referee looks at me and decides I'm going to stand right in front of him. Because no matter where I am, I pick a spot, and that's exactly where the referee stands at the basketball game.
Of course.
And I'm like,
yeah.
And I can just like most people would just like sidestep real quick and take the picture.
Sure.
It's not in my arsenal here.
Well, no, clearly. It's, yeah. And you just want to sit back. Excuse me, sir.
Sir.
Move over about 3
down
4
in
feet.
front.
Can you kind of scoot over just a little bit so I can get this shot? Yeah, I appreciate it.
That's where you like go right next to him and you're taking shots at his hip.
Yeah. And you're like, it's not like you're going to be making a call. You haven't made one the whole damn day. Can you scoot over about 3 or 4 feet?
That would get me thrown out.
Yeah, and that would get you thrown out. Yeah. I saw our music guy in Lubbock, Texas, get thrown out of a game.
You like the guy that plays music?
The guy that plays music got thrown out of a game.
Story.
Umpire made a horrible call, or at least a call against Lubbock, and it was kind of a horrible call. And the music guy had the balls to play 3 blind mice. That was the end of that. He got thrown out of the game. So we couldn't have music the rest of the night. I was like, wow.
I'm sorry. Like
Did he really get thrown out?
That's really petty. I mean, I get it. Like it's a little lowbrow move, but like
it's low hanging fruit
for an umpire to throw out the music guy for playing 3 blind. I mean, like I don't know. It's like throwing out a fan just for like a harmless heckle. It's not like he's swearing at you or anything. I don't know.
Well, I mean, he got a little hot under the collar. The umpire did, and he pointed to the music guy and he said, "Whoop."
"You gonna come out here and escort me out of the music box? Well, what's gonna happen if I say no? You gonna stop the game?"
I was waiting for the public address announcer to give him the microphone and see what would have happened. But
then the public address announcer starts singing Three Blind Mice.
yeah, and then he's going to get tossed, and then
you start singing Three Blind Mice on the radios.
Well, you're not going to toss me. I mean, that's what are you? Why are you listening to the radio instead of umpiring the game?
He's got a little earpiece.
Yeah,
I hear you too. Yeah.
Now here's a weird thing at Eastwood. The broadcast is heard not only on ysnlive.com. If you're at the ballpark, it is heard in the concourse. And Sunday, there were some people, but you could still hear me broadcasting the game on the concourse, and I'm like, ooh, if I say something really bad right now toward an umpire saying he screwed this call up, or
they're going to hear me.
They're going to hear me. Okay, well, I normally don't unless it's egregiously horrible. I don't say anything. But if it's just a downright awful call, yeah, you're gonna hear that.
See, that sounds mild, but then you hear Ron's definition of horrible, and it's like the guy missed a strike, and Ron's like, "Oh, that's a terrible call."
Well, I don't go that far. I mean, the last game that we did, the home plate umpire had a very, very deliberate strike, where he would go really slow, kind of like a sloth. He'd go up like this, and then out like this.
Before too. It's hard to broadcast because you're sitting there like, that looks like a strike, but I have to wait for this guy to decide to do this.
Exactly. So I made the comment, well, I could probably eat an ice cream cone before this guy decides to tell me that it's going to be a ball or a strike. Apparently that was heard because he then got a little quicker. I was like, ooh, maybe he heard that. I don't know. So it's kind of different when you have the game heard on the concourse.
Right.
So the editorial comments are at a minimum at home games because the game is heard on the concourse. So, and that was cool. And God love Sam Crail's dad. He came up to me before the game, knowing now how many listeners we truly do have listening to Scrappers Baseball. Sam's family is from Indiana, and they were not able to go to Saturday's game, but he comes up about an hour before the game, and he sees, the garage door that we have for our window is up, and he sees me rooting around in there, and he goes, "Ron?" I said, "Yeah, yes, sir." And he says, "I'm Sam's dad, Sam Crail's dad." I said, "Oh, Mr. Crail, nice to meet you." And he goes, "Man, we heard you doing the game on Saturday. We've been hearing you all night long. I wanted to go to Saturday's game. That sounded like a really, really fun game." I said, tie ball game, but it was cool how the Scrappers fought back and almost won the ball game. And then he's like, "Well, we listen all the time." I'm like, "There you go, power of YSN Live."
That's why we do it.
That's it.
One of the main reasons we started was so people that can't come to the games can have an avenue to see their family members play.
Yeah. So now we're getting
we're playing the Scrappers games, which have people all over the country.
Yep.
Trying to watch and listen, whether they be the Scrappers people or people that want to see the other team.
Yeah. And again, unless you're Frederick, where their broadcaster is doing all of the games, which I'm still kind of shaking my. Well, he's not allowed to.
But he does.
But he does. Which,
well, then they can't let him in the booth, right?
Well, the only time Frederick came into town was about 3 weeks ago, and I was like, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "Well," he says, "the Frederick GM said go ahead and go." I'm like, "Does he not know that you're not allowed to be here?" He goes, "He wanted me to do all the games." I'm like, "All right, cool. Hey, fine by me. Set up the visiting broadcast booth. Let him do the games. That's cool." But other than when we play Frederick at home, I'm the only broadcaster because the visiting teams don't send their broadcaster to the home games because of COVID.
How about the pitchers duel last night?
Oh my
Scrappers
gosh!
Were into.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they couldn't come out on the right side of it, but
yeah, 1-0.
Maybe the best pitching performance we've seen out of the league.
No question about that. By the way, and we haven't talked about what the Scrappers have done. Tuesday night, they buried State College 8-2 in just a typical Mahoning Valley offensive performance where they just bludgeoned the other team to death, because that's what they do.
Jeez, this got violent.
And yesterday, it probably the best game, if you're a pitching fan, probably the best game played. State College, give it up for State College. They shut out the Scrappers 1-0, and it was a phenomenal game. Just a well-pitched game by both teams, and all right, there you go.
And State College scored their one run in the first inning, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so after the first inning, it was goose eggs the rest of the night. Just a really good brand of baseball.
Must have went really quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Scrappers are 15-9-1. They are still a half a game ahead of West Virginia, who's 13-8. Trenton is a game and a half back at 11-8. Williamsport is 2.5 back at 12-11. State College is 4 back at 11-13. And Frederick has actually won some games. They're up to 5-17. So God bless Frederick. We're playing West by God, Virginia.
All right, that'll
again.
be a big series.
Yep, another big series. Yeah, another big series. The Scrappers up a half a game.
They finished the season with State College tonight, right? And then come back.
Yeah, they finished the series tonight against State College, and then they will be back in action this weekend against West Virginia.
Friendly, because guess what? It's West Virginia again.
Yeah, there you go. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe Colin Floyd starts tonight for the Scrappers. So I'd kind of like to see, even though it's not going to happen because the weather is supposed to be absolutely gorgeous, I'd kind of like to see a rain out tonight. So Colin Floyd would pitch at Eastwood, because he's only pitched one game at Eastwood. The rest of his starts have been on the road. But I believe Colin Floyd pitches tonight for the Scrappers, or at least it's his turn to pitch, because the last time he pitched was Saturday. So I believe that he pitches tonight at State College. So there you go. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. I'm looking to see who the best player is in terms of batting average, and it's Bobby Sparling. He is still hitting .365 on the campaign, 27 hits in 74 at bats, and he has 20 runs batted in, and I believe the 20 RBIs is going to be tops. Nope, it isn't. Jason Hinchman is now in first place at 23. So Hinchman with 23 RBI, Bobby Sparling with 20. Those are the top two guys, and they're both Scrappers.
And we would be remiss if we didn't say that today was kind of the celebration day for JFK. They got their rings fitted. They got recognized by the Trumbull County Commissioners, and they honored them earlier. They've been celebrating like crazy today, their state championship. And we are very excited that they get to have that experience. And there's nothing like getting fitted for the rings. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
You get fitted, you get someone to come in, they fit everyone personally. So it's not just like here's a ring, here's a ring. Here. No, you get expertly fitted, and there's no experience like it.
Yeah. So congratulations to Warren JFK for winning that state championship. And again, we made mention of this with their head coach. The only person that's leaving this team, he's a huge loss, Cam Hollabaugh, but you got 10 kids coming back, and you know as well as I do, they're going to be a lot more than 11 kids playing baseball for the Warren JFK Eagles next year. So just a great victory, getting a state championship in baseball, and they're going to be a favorite to do it again in 2022, no question.
This is per Dana Balish. This is kind of not breaking news per se, but it was tweeted about an hour ago. The Steelers have announced that their 2021 training camp will be at Heinz Field.
Yeah.
Instead of the plan being at Latrobe, because COVID regulations in the NFL would not let that be approved. So they're going to stay home. So if you're looking at going to training camp for the Steelers, It'll be at Heinz Field and the Rooney Sports Complex there in Pittsburgh.
They did the same thing with the Bills. They normally go up to Rochester, but they announced that because of COVID, they're going to stay in Orchard Park, and they got the training facilities and they got the bubble there if the weather's crappy. So that's what they're going to do. I'll be curious to see if the Browns go to Berea or if they do everything where they would normally be in Berea, or if they stay at the stadium in Cleveland and do it.
It's funny that they say it was the NFL COVID protocols that stopped them and not like the cities or whatever, because you wonder what their protocol, because like Kansas City's going to St. Joseph like they always do, and that hasn't been stopped.
Yeah.
So I wonder what makes that Pittsburgh place, it wasn't didn't match their protocols, and Buffalo, obviously Rochester didn't match their protocols. So I wonder what determines what, for the NFL, mind you, what they can and can't do.
I'm curious. I'm curious about that, because that's weird. All right, let's get back to the phone lines. Thanks for waiting. You're on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. What's going on? Hello, that's you. Okay. I don't know. Don't know what to tell you. All righty. Scotty Farrell used to have he used to be on Howard Stern's show, and then he got his own gig on CBS Radio. Now I think he's just independently doing some stuff. I think he's doing some blogs, and he's doing some podcasts and whatnot. It was hilarious. After about 2 times, he'd go, "Hello, is your mother home?" And we're like, "All right, get out." Hang up the phone. There you go.
Is your mother home?
Is your mother home? All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. Again, the Scrappers back home on Friday nights, opening up a weekend series with West Virginia. Right now, the Scrappers with a half-game lead on the Black Bears. We made mention the Scrappers with the 2 most prolific leaders in the RBI department. Jason Hinchman with 23 runs batted in. Bobby Sparling with 20 runs batted in. Dan Harwood is actually 5th in the league with RBIs. He has 16.
Maybe they're trying again.
Yeah. All right, you're on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. What's going on?
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up, man?
Nothing much. Just calling to tell you I love the show, but I want to get your opinion on this whole, pitchers using different sticky substances kind of stuff.
Yeah, we've been talking a little bit about this. There's a lot of, good Lord, there's a lot of managers, there's a lot of pitchers. Everyone is kind of down on the umpires, really down on Commissioner Manfred. And look, I mean, is it a bad look for baseball? Yeah, but it's the only thing that these guys can do, because there's too many pitchers that are using this stuff. So now, because there's so many people that are using this stuff, and because the offense is below average and historically low, and everyone knows ticket sales are a lot of fans are going to buy tickets if there's offense in the game. The commissioner is saying, no, we got to get rid of this. So now, because we have some guys that are doing this stuff, everyone's going to get punished, and now everyone is going to have the opportunity to be frisked and inspected. And I'm waiting for Joe Friday from Dragnet to come out and start lecturing people on not using the sticky stuff while reading someone their Miranda rights. It's a weird look. It really is, but unfortunately, there's too many guys in Major League Baseball that are using this crap, and I guess this is one way of trying to get rid of that stuff.
Yeah, I completely agree. Another thing I wanted to get your opinion on, are you more of a fan of the explosive hitting or good pitching?
I'm more of a fan of a good, clean game where there's not any errors, limited walks, and if it's a 4-3, 5-4 type of game, I'm good with it. A 7-6 game, I'm good with it. Even a high-scoring game is fun, but as long as there aren't very many walks, as long as the both defenses are playing a clean game, a pitcher's duel is great. An offensive explosion can be fun as well. I'll take either one as long as I have a well-played game defensively with the fewest amount of walks. Anthony, do you like the bombs or do you like the pitching?
You know, I like the even pitchers duels are a little bit more fun, just because it feels like when the both pitchers are pitching really well, it feels like every pitch is just like on a razor's edge. Like if they make one mistake, you know the other pitcher won't, and 1 run feels like 3 runs. So I'm a little bit more for pitchers duels, but as long, like Ron said, if it's a clean baseball game, it's fun to watch. I just can't stand watching baseball games where there's 8 walks and 2 errors, and the defenses are playing hard, playing bad, and you don't feel like the runs are kind of earned in that sense.
Yeah, and I'm with Anthony on this. If gun to my head, which one you have to make a choice, give me the 1-0 or 2-1 ball game, as long as both teams are playing really well defensively and both pitchers aren't sloppy in terms of giving up walks. But I also like a good slugfest as long as the defense is there and the pitching is really good and you don't give up free base runners.
I agree. Well, that's all the questions I got for you today, guys. Thanks for your time.
I appreciate it, brother. 330-886-0813. I'm good with. I mean, I'd much rather see the old-fashioned pitchers duel, but give me a game where both teams are playing really well defensively.
Then, I mean, if it's going to be a high-scoring game, I like a good comeback.
There you go.
I would love it if a team was down 7-2, and then they score like 6 runs in 1 inning and lead 8-7. Those are fun too.
Yeah. I'll take that in a heartbeat as well. Have you watched any of the College World Series?
Yeah, it's been fun.
How
about Vanderbilt's pitcher the other day? He had a no-hitter going, and in the 4th, and everyone was like, whoever scores the first run is going to win this game. And almost right when people were saying that, they hit a home run. That was the only run of the game.
Nice.
The team Vanderbilt was playing.
By the way, Youngstown State will be playing Mississippi State next year. They're going to be making a trip to where's Mississippi State? Starkville. Thank you. They're going to be making a trip to Starkville next year. Mississippi State is undefeated in this College World Series, and they will be playing the winner of tonight's elimination game between Texas and Virginia. Whoever loses this game is going to be playing Mississippi State, and they'll have to beat them twice in order for the Bulldogs not to be in the World Series championship round. NC State is the same. NC State will be playing Vanderbilt. The Commodores are going to have to beat the Wolfpack twice in order for the Commodores to go to the World Series. If NC State wins one of these potential 2 games, they go to the World Series championship.
NC State is not exactly the ACC representative that you would expect.
No.
Florida State had a great year. North Carolina is usually up there. So, I mean, NC State, we talked about it with the NBA. Some teams that aren't usually in this position, getting into this position. I love Virginia because their pitcher had a post-game interview last week during the Super Regionals, and it was one of the funniest post-game interviews I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if you saw it.
No.
He was sitting there. He's like, they're asking him what his emotions were coming in. He's like, well, I heard someone offer me a thing of Dippin' Dots if I blew it. And, a part of me was like, man, I really want some Dippin' Dots.
Nice. Yeah, there you go.
He's like, the price of Dippin' Dots with inflation is just unreal right now.
Yeah.
And then he's like, but if I win, I get to come back tomorrow, and then I get to make my own Dippin' Dots.
There you go. Yeah, it's all about the Dippin' Dots at this point. So one half of the finals bracket is set. North Carolina State, undefeated, is going to play Vanderbilt at 2:00 on Friday afternoon. And if those two teams, or if Vanderbilt happens to win that game, then they would play winner take the championship series, loser go home on Saturday at 2:00. Mississippi State's playing the winner of tonight's elimination game between Texas and Virginia. Mississippi State will play the winner of that game tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. If Mississippi State wins, the Bulldogs are in the World Series Championship Series. If they lose, then winner take all on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. And then the College World Series has the best of three, the two top teams playing in a best of three. Game 1 is Monday, June the 28th at 7 o'clock. Game 2, Tuesday, June the 29th at 7 o'clock. And if necessary, the third and final game, June 30th at 7 o'clock. Again, just a reminder, Youngstown State is going to be playing Mississippi State next year in the regular season. They could potentially be playing the winner of the College World Series in 2021. And could you imagine if the Penguins were to upset the defending college baseball world champions in not one, but two of the three games played down in Starkville?
One of the big talking points, now that we're talking about the college baseball scene, was that the College World Series lasts for 12 days. There's 12 days, and people, the softball World Series, they try to fit everything into 6. And people want the softball extended a little bit. I don't think you need 12 days to do a World Series in softball. Obviously, baseball takes longer than softball. They only play 2 games on a day. In the first round in baseball, they can play 4 in softball, so it makes sense that you're doubling the days. But there are problems with 6 days because they don't really adjust for a rainout. We saw a game have to be pushed to Thursday, and then it had to be played at 3 o'clock because they didn't really have a plan B for rainout days. We saw a team play because of a rain delay. They played at started the game at like 11 o'clock at night, didn't get out of there until 2 a.m., and then had to play again the next morning at like 10 a.m.
Yeah, that's unfair.
I think there needs to be a little bit of an extension on how many days are put into the College World Series at the softball level. Maybe not 12, but maybe like 7 or 8. That way there's a rain delay cushion there.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And how fair is it for a team to play late at night and then turn around and play early in the morning the next morning? That's unfair.
And they had to fit it into that day because the next day was full of games. So they didn't really have a cushion day.
Yeah.
That they could say, okay, we'll just push it back a day.
Yeah, that definitely
that's one
needs
of the
to
changes
happen.
that gets made. They've added a couple of members to their rules committee. I'm hoping for softball needs replay. I don't understand why baseball has it throughout their postseason and softball doesn't. Makes too many missed calls. At that level, in that stage of the game, you just got to make sure you get calls right.
And it's not like the games aren't being televised because
Right.
they are.
I mean,
so why not go and
ESPN
do?
had 40 cameras in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you should have replay.
There should be replay.
Absolutely, you should.
And then it's funny because you see all the softball people like clamoring for replay, but then all the baseball people are like, because the replays haven't really gone well for the baseball. Replay's terrible. It's ruining the. So it's
yeah. Well,
softball's over here like we'll take it.
Yeah, and until you see it and then see the product and how bad it is.
No matter what you do, you're gonna have people mad about it. If you don't have replay, it's gonna be like, well, you missed that call.
Yeah.
If you have replay, you use it, and they still feel like you missed a call, they're gonna say, what's the point of having replay? So you're never gonna make people happy.
See, I remember
unless you have robots that make every call exactly right, exactly how it should be called. Which is never gonna happen.
I remember in 1979. This would have been my sophomore year in high school. The Steelers played the Houston Oilers for the AFC Championship. This was the second straight year that the Steelers played their Central Division counterparts. And this was when Earl Campbell was in his prime, and this Houston team was really, really good. And there was a play late in the third quarter that would have given Houston a touchdown. Either would have tied the game or gotten to them within a field goal, where Mike Renfro clearly caught a pass. The question was, are both feet inbounds when he catches the pass? Because there's a gigantic snowbank just away from the end zone at Old Three Rivers Stadium. And they didn't have replay back then, but they used replay for this play. For some bizarre reason, they used replay, and they screwed it up because his feet were inbounds when he caught the ball, but they didn't have replay be the be all end all. But it took 20 minutes for the officials to finally get some clearance on the call. And they were like incomplete pass. And you see Bum Phillips, who would normally not wear a cowboy hat unless he was outside of Houston, because the Astrodome was a dome. You don't wear cowboy hats inside. So he would not have his cowboy hat on. But outside, Bum Phillips would have a 10-gallon cowboy hat on. And you see Bum Phillips take his cowboy hat, throw it on the ground. He's stomping on the cowboy hat. I'm like, dude, you're ruining your cowboy hat just because of a bad call.
Don't take it out of the hat.
Don't take it out on the hat. The hat's beautiful. But no, he got screwed out of that call. Now, would it have changed things? Probably not. Steelers would have found a way to win because that Steeler team in the 70s was crazy good.
There are many calls in NFL history before replay that you look at and go, that probably would have been overturned if there was replay.
The immaculate reception.
Well, there was never an angle that showed it wasn't. Like you can't find a camera angle that shows he didn't catch it.
I remember watching it as a kid, and they had angles that showed
I've never seen
that it
one
could
replay.
have.
Could have. That
could
doesn't
have.
work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
You're
You
right.
have to have clear.
You have to have clear evidence.
And there was no shot, no. I've never seen any picture or shot that clearly says he either caught it or he didn't.
NBC.
It's like Franco Harris knew where the cameras were perfectly.
Yeah, NBC, and I remember watching this game. NBC had a normal playoff game.
There's not even an angle to see if the Raider and the Steeler that collide, if it touches the Steeler.
Oh yeah, no, there's no way you could do it.
See who hit it.
Even if you slowed it down today,
right.
it was impossible to tell who hit it.
Why it's called immaculate.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things. It's like you could never do that again if
Yeah.
you tried it. Like
Now-
even if you set it up and you tried to do it, you couldn't do it.
The Raiders say Frenchie Fuqua hit it first.
Well, of course.
And then the Steelers are like, no, the ball went off of Jack Tatum.
Right.
And if you see both of them coming together, Fuqua, Tatum, ball, and they all meet at the same, you cannot tell who the ball was actually off of. And it ricochets back about 20 yards. And Franco Harris, why he's there and not somewhere else is beyond me, because he was supposed to be somewhere else.
Block, right?
Yeah. So
and he didn't.
Yeah, and he didn't, which
Thank
Franco
God.
never did when he was. You rarely saw Franco block when he was a running back, neither here nor there. So he's in the middle of nowhere, and the ball comes flying back toward him, but it's sinking. And I swear, when I saw it as a kid, the ball, or at least the tip of the ball, was on the ground, but they never showed it.
There's another thing. The ball can hit the ground if you have control of it.
And apparently he had control of the ball.
If you have your hands on it and it's not moving and the nose touches the ground, it's still a catch.
And it was absolutely amazing just to hear Kurt Gowdy, who is one of the greatest football announcers I've ever heard. And Bradshaw threw that ball with such ferocity that it just bounced off whoever, because you'll never know who it bounced off of. Ricochets backwards. Franco catches the ball and then tears off down the sidelines, and it's like everyone was blocking for him, and he gets into the end zone. And the sad thing, probably the saddest thing of all, is Art Rooney Sr. never saw that play. He was in an elevator going down to congratulate Al Davis. He was going to go into the locker room, console his team, and he never saw that play.
That's why you don't do it early.
Well,
you learn your lesson.
Yeah, yeah. That's
now,
it.
In my lifetime, the one I remember from my childhood, I've talked about it before. In my early childhood, I tried to rebel against my family. I didn't want to be the same, so I was a Packers fan for some weird reason.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice fumbled in the playoff game against the Packers. And or maybe it was Terrell Owens, one of the two.
Yeah.
And that Steve Young where he ended up throwing the amazing catch.
And it was caught by Terrell Owens.
Right. So one of the two, I think it was Jerry Rice, clearly fumbled, and it wasn't called.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the first time I was like, as a kid, I could be like,
There was one game involving the Browns and Steelers, and I want to say it was 78 or 79. Browns were playing, and this was a game at Three Rivers, because they'd never won a game at Three Rivers until Bernie broke that jinx. But they were playing this game, and the Browns were really playing a good game. They took them to overtime. So I think the game is like tied at 9 going into overtime. It was a real great defensive duel. Each team is kicked 3 field goals. Just a great defensive duel. And this was at the height of the Steel Curtain, the height of the Steelers' greatness. So they kick off. The Browns lost the toss. They kick off. Larry Anderson fumbled the football, and the Browns recovered the ball. And it was as plain as day that he fumbled the football, and the officials didn't see it, and you didn't have replay back then. Steelers had the ball, and I think like 6 or 7 plays later, they did a flea flicker, double reverse, threw it back to Bradshaw. Benny Cunningham was all by his lonesome in the end zone for the game-winning touchdown.
It was absolutely Jerry Rice that fumbled the ball.
You're Googling it?
I'm watching it right now.
Have you not gotten away from this?
It was bugging me that I couldn't remember who it was. It was absolutely Jerry Rice.
You're talking about the GOAT of receivers.
He fumbled.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently not, because it was never proven. Oh, Lordy.
Okay. Georgia Tech was on the right side of one of those calls because in the Georgia game in '99, Georgia fumbled on the goal line, and it was pretty clear that he didn't fumble.
Yeah.
But he did.
Notre Dame was on the right one in the Notre Dame-Miami game.
So.
Do you remember?
Sometimes you're on the right side of those, sometimes you're not.
Yeah, Notre Dame and Miami. And I'll, as a Notre Dame fan, I will admit this freely. Miami got screwed in that game. I mean, they really did. And then Jimmy Johnson, the week after, turned on the game film, and he said, "This is why you never leave it in the officials' hands in that god-awful place, South Bend, Indiana." And he turned the end of the game on when their running back, reaching for the goal line, put the ball down on the goal line, and then the ball went out of his hands. And Notre Dame jumped on the ball, and they were like, "Yep, fumble, going the other way." No, it wasn't. It was a Miami touchdown. It should have been. All right, 330-886-0813. We're back in a bit.
You tell the guy, hold on to the ball.
Yeah.
And it's not a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Like, why you're reaching out and throwing the football on the ground? It's like, I get you're trying for the effort play, but I don't know what the situation was because that was obviously before my time.
Yeah, it was in the late 80s.
But, like, if he's down, like, at the 1 or whatever, is it, like, game over?
No, he had to score. He had to score.
This is that, that play in the Browns-Chiefs game. It was the hit aside that Browns fans are upset about. If he just goes out of bounds and he's first and goal at the 2, Browns have plenty of time to score. And that's what the coach said. We love the effort, but why are you diving for the goal line before halftime when we have time to go score at first and goal?
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where it's like, if you just you have better ball security there in that moment. It's not even an issue of whether that's a call or not.
No, I agree with that.
So I don't know if I would say they got screwed. They definitely got screwed because the call was wrong.
Yeah, but they got beat by a backup quarterback, so I don't feel sorry for them.
I'm saying the Notre Dame or the Miami.
Yeah.
They got screwed because the call was wrong, but at the same time, it was like he made a decision that was probably not the best.
Yeah, but they needed to score at that point. But again, it was a touchdown. I'll be the first to admit it was a touchdown.
I know it's kind of.
But from the Browns standpoint, I agree with you. And oh, by the way, it's the same thing as the Saints-Rams game. Was it pass interference late in the game?
Crap,
oh my God, absolutely it was. Do I feel bad for the New Orleans Saints?
No,
hell no, I don't.
That play didn't even get them in. They went into overtime.
Yeah,
and they still couldn't win.
And they went into overtime because their defense couldn't stop the Rams. They kicked a field goal to take it into overtime.
And they got the ball.
And they had the ball first, and they couldn't do squat. So I don't feel bad for New Orleans. You had plenty of opportunities to win that game, and you didn't do it.
I just feel bad for New Orleans because it was like 3 straight years where they lost on the last play in the playoffs.
Well,
and it was like, oh, geez, that's got to be brutal.
Yeah.
Because the year before that, it was the Diggs catch.
Oh God, that was phenomenal.
Where the guy for some reason tried to tackle him.
Yeah.
Whiffed.
Yeah.
And he ran all the way for a touchdown. And then the year after that, I believe they were playing Minnesota again, and I think it was in overtime, a little fade route that was iffy, maybe pass interference on the offense, but caught in the corner of the end zone to give Minnesota another win in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So it was like Saints fans just cap.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I mean, the biggest
Poor Drew Brees. That's who I feel the worst for.
The biggest, in my humble opinion, faux pas in the history of non-instant replay was the Music City mugging.
No, I'm not.
It was the Music City mugging because it was
line.
bullshit. That was not a straight line.
Yeah,
he throws the ball from the 34, and he caught it at the 35.
He jumped from the 34. He let the ball go at the 35.
Yeah, he didn't leave that ball go at the 35.
Because he jumped in the air before he threw it.
Yeah.
And his body went a little bit backwards, and he threw it a straight
Yeah, well, that ball was caught 1.5 yards in front of the line of scrimmage.
You know, if someone makes a tackle, gets in the right position, then it's not a.
No, I agree with that particular part of it, but that was a forward lateral. It ain't no Music City Miracle. That's a Music City mugging.
There are no flags on the field.
Yeah, that's Mike to this day, and I've known Mike Keith for 20 years.
So wait, were you were probably the happiest person in the world when the Titans were this short?
Oh, I didn't lose any sleep over it.
Because, I mean, like...
Yeah, I didn't lose any sleep over it.
Because that's a perfect play.
Yeah.
And some no-name linebacker, I think it's Mike Brown.
Yeah, it was Mike Brown.
Some no-name linebacker that no one's ever heard of before that play makes the tackle of a lifetime.
Yep.
And saves the Rams a Super Bowl.
Yeah. No, I didn't lose any sleep.
And that was one where I was like, dang, McNair, you just put your guts out in that drive.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been there in the first place.
And made the right play. And you're this short. And I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, oh well. That's what happens when you do a Music City lie. Ugh.
You know what? The Bills were up a lot in that game.
Oh, I know they were.
So they blew it.
Well, listen. I mean,
Bills blew it, God.
No, listen. The Bills blew it before the game when they played Rob Johnson instead of Doug Flutie. That's one of the dumbest decisions I ever saw in my life.
That's exactly what Schottenheimer did in Kansas City.
Yeah, Gomer Pyle, a.k.a. Wade Phillips.
When Schottenheimer decided to go with Elvis Grbac, who's been hurt for 6 weeks, instead of Rich Gannon, who carried the Chiefs into the playoffs while Grbac was hurt.
Yeah.
All because he has this infinite rule, no matter what, if you're hurt, you don't lose your spot.
Yeah. You don't speak ill of the dead, but Marty in the playoffs sucked. I'm sorry. He just did. It was not a good coach in the postseason. Went on to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, he did.
And so did Elvis Grbac.
Yes, he did. Hey, you won a Super Bowl. I don't want to hear it. I mean, I got stories to tell. I got a Music City mugging. I got 4 Super Bowl losses. I don't want to hear your crap back there. You've got a Super Bowl championship.
2 years ago, that was a valid argument. Now it's not.
It ain't a valid argument anymore. You've won a Super Bowl. Hopefully, my valid argument hopefully Josh Allen's year is this year and they get to the Super Bowl. That would be nice.
It'll come. You have to live through the pain.
There's been enough pain.
Chiefs had a lot of playoff pain before that Super Bowl. So
I remember.
You got to live for it.
No, listen. I remember as a kid watching that double overtime into the third overtime loss to the Dolphins. That was Ed Podolak had the best football game I've ever seen anyone play. His all-purpose yards that day was over 300. It was crazy how good he played or how well he played that day.
I mean, Andy Reid's losses in the playoffs before that Super Bowl were all heartbreaking.
Yeah. Philadelphia fans have your back on that one.
Andrew Luck picks up his own fumble and jumps into the end zone.
Yeah.
And then Marcus Mariota does almost the same thing, where he throws in the end zone, ball gets tipped out, he catches it.
Yep.
And runs into the end zone.
Yep.
And I was like, well, we're done.
Yeah.
And then Henry almost fumbles. They don't stop the play, so every Chiefs fan thinks that we just had a walk-off fumble for a touchdown, but then replay shows his knee was down.
Yeah. Yeah.
It all worked out.
You're right. It's worked out for you.
That Titans loss might have been the best thing in the world for the Chiefs because that kind of closed the book on Alex Smith, and I think that's told them. Like, I love Alex Smith, but if he goes and wins like another game and goes to the AFC Championship or maybe wins the AFC Championship, I don't know if the Chiefs are sold enough to go to the 10 spot and get Mahomes. I think they were kind of, okay, Alex Smith once again can't win in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's close the book.
Yeah. And they make the deal with the Bills, and as a Bills fan, I can't complain about it because you got Tre'Davious White out of the deal, you got Edmonds out of the deal, and a year later you got your franchise quarterback in Allen. So I'm not complaining. No, it was a great deal for both teams, as it turns out. All right, we'll take a timeout. On the other side, your phone calls 330-886-0813. Back in a bit. Stick around.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we go the extra mile for you.
By finding you the right vehicle at the right price.
And by being with you for every mile of your journey.
Visit greenwoodchevrolet.com and tell us how we can go the extra mile for you.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Bad credit, no problem. I can get you approved for a low-interest loan and maybe even a low-payment lease on a new car at the #1 Chevy dealership in Trumbull County for 3 years in a row. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved or come see me, Tony Page, to get a new vehicle today. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
And welcome back to this Thursday edition of Running Point. Ron Potesta with you alongside Anthony Hardwig. Let's get to the phone lines here real quick. You're on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. What's going on?
Good afternoon, Ron.
Hey, what's going on, Mike?
I'm doing well. Hey, just between you and I, ones do work, Ronnie. That's all I'm going to say. Ones do work. That's all I'll say. You'll know what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
Good advice.
Yeah, it's always good advice to use the one.
Yes. So, Ronnie, may I call you Ronnie for the context of this conversation?
Well, absolutely you can, sir. Go ahead, sir.
I thought, Ron yesterday is a lifelong Browns and East Cavs fan. The Browns front office, I think, is going to make a great move this summer. And, and it's come out, his agent this morning thinks it's going to get done by the end of summer, but to get a contract extension for quarterback Baker Mayfield. And here's why I say that, Ronnie. As a Browns fan, I've gotten heated debates with Browns fans about this. Do I think Baker Mayfield's a really good quarterback? Yes, I think he's a good quarterback. Now, the reason why I say all this, Ronnie, is because I believe they have to beat the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens in getting a contract extension for Mayfield before the Ravens do it for Lamar Jackson and before the Bills front office does it with Josh Allen. And here's why, Ron, and you tell me if I'm wrong or not. Those guys are going to get paid. Like, they might get $45 million a year, each of them, okay? And I don't think Baker Mayfield's worth that type of money that Allen or Jackson's going to get. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
And I think
I don't want them to set the marketplace because at the end of the day, the Browns front office will have to buckle to Mayfield and his agent and give him the money he wants, even if it matches Allen and Mayfield, even though he's not the same type of quarterback they are. And he's not running the same system either.
I think that all three of those teams, Mike, are playing chicken right now. They're playing an expensive game of chicken because I know the Bills don't want to do anything until they hear from Baltimore and Cleveland. The Ravens don't want to do anything with Lamar Jackson until they see something from from Cleveland or Buffalo. The Browns aren't going to do anything until they see what Buffalo and Baltimore is doing, and they're all waiting on each other to set the marketplace. Now,
I disagree, Ronnie. I disagree with that. I think the Browns want to move first because the Browns front office, they love Baker Mayfield, and they want him there another 6, 7, 8 years. I'm not saying they don't, but I don't think they want to pay him the same amount as Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson either.
Well, he's not worth it because he's nowhere close to either one of those quarterbacks.
I'm not arguing with that point. I agree with you, but he and his agent will think he is. Like, if Jackson gets $45 million a year and Allen gets $45, just hypothetical, or say $42 million a year,
yeah.
You know and I know that Mayfield and Mayfield's agent will want the same amount of money. You know that'll happen because of egos, and that's the way pro sports works.
That's true. That's true.
Now, I have a friend who says, well, Mayfield has a couple television deals with commercials that Jackson and Allen don't have. But I don't think that means anything, Ronnie.
Honestly, I think what the holdup is for the Browns is I don't know if the front office, if you shot truth serum into them, I don't know if the front office quite believes that Baker Mayfield is their guy simply because other than this past year, he hasn't done very much.
I think this, Ryan. Let's suppose hypothetically the Browns go 12-5. We're Mayfield and his agent are going to come back to the Browns front office and say we're winning games.
Yeah.
Even though it's a run-first offense, and to Kevin Stefanski's credit, he's using Mayfield's talent to the maximum level with a lot of play-action pass, Ronnie, bootleg, naked bootleg,
sure,
lack of size.
Yep.
You know, I have a friend who gets mad at me because I say Baker. If they kept the stat on this, Ronnie, and I don't think they do. But last year in 2020, Baker Mayfield led the National Football League in most one-yard touchdown passes on first and goal from the one. You know, play action fake, the tight end's wide open by 5 yards in the back of the end zone because everyone's thinking run. And Stefanski does that on purpose because he's trying to build confidence in the quarterback position. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, he also has the best running attack in the National Football League, and that makes Baker Mayfield a dangerous weapon.
Correct. Correct.
The
Bills, the reason why I say that, Ron, is the Bills' offense and their front office and coaching staff, they asked Josh Allen to do more than what the Browns asked Mayfield to do. The Baltimore Ravens asked Lamar Jackson to do more than the Browns asked Baker Mayfield. So, therefore, I believe they deserve more money because they're asked to do more. If they struggle on offense, their teams aren't going to win games to be successful because they're throwing the ball 35 to 40 times a game, and Jackson's running 10 to 15 times a game. I mean,
yeah.
Athletically. But so Josh Allen runs the ball a lot as well.
Well, yeah, because the Bills don't have a really good running game. It's the Bills' running game is anemic compared to Baltimore's and Cleveland's, which it just tells me all I need to know about Josh Allen, and I've said. The most important guy that is going to be lost with free agency if the Browns don't re-sign him is Nick Chubb. He is out after this year. Now, I'm sure the Browns are going to look at this and go, well, we have Kareem Hunt, and he's not as good as Chubb, but we don't want to commit to Chubb because that would be the second contract, and rule of thumb in the NFL now is you don't want to sign a guy to a second deal as a running back because they're a dime a dozen. Let me remind everyone, Baker Mayfield is 2-8, actually 2-9, I beg your pardon, when the Browns rush for under 100 yards in a game. He is 2-9, and the two victories came against the Bengals and the Jets when they were both really bad franchises.
Well, let me ask you this, Ron. After this season, the Browns will have 4 key free agents. Obviously, Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, Denzel Ward, and the right guard Keller on offense.
Yeah.
He had a good year last year. Now, what order would you put them, if you were running the Browns front office, Ronnie, what order would you put them in, and most important, of re-signing them next spring or next summer to a deal?
Anthony and I talked a little bit about this, but we threw Landry in instead of Teller. Okay. I mean, if Mayfield has a really good year this year, he's clearly number one. If he has a crappy year this year, with all that talent around him, and the Browns do what they did in 2018 when all the hype was, we're going to be a playoff team, we're going to be in the championship game, and I tried to warn everyone that first half of the schedule was brutal, and you don't know what's going to happen. If they fall on their face and Mayfield has a bad year, he's not number one on that list.
Mediocre.
Yeah, if he's mediocre, he's not number one on that list. He gets replaced by either Denzel Ward or Nick Chubb. And again, I'm not high on Denzel Ward because I don't like the way he tackles. He's another concussion away from being a guy that's going to be spending more time on the coach's trainer's room than on the field.
Yeah, he's always missed. The one downside of Denzel Ward is for his career, he's always missed 4 or 5 games every season due to one injury or another. He seems to be, quote, injury prone in quotation.
Yeah, I love Chubb, but I also understand the fact that running backs are allegedly a dime a dozen.
There you go, Ronnie. You're going to say that. In NFL, the running back's been marginalized over the last 10 or 15 years, correct?
But look at the stats of this guy.
But remember, Nick Chubb has also had a knee injury in his career.
You're right. He has a major knee injury. You're right. So
that's fair statement.
Wyatt Teller, and he's a guy that was thrown in the scrap heap by the Bills. He didn't do anything for the Bills, and he's turned himself into a Pro Bowl caliber player. He's an important piece to this team because they need the offensive line to blow out holes for the running back. I would say
Wyatt Teller has another great year like he did in 2020, Ronnie. And let's suppose he wants Quentin Nelson type money, okay?
Well, he ain't getting Quentin Nelson type money.
But he might ask for that. But I'm just saying hypothetically.
Mike.
I think Nelson's a better player. I'm not arguing that point.
Mike, I'd like to date a supermodel, but that ain't going to happen, and you know why.
He's asking.
I'm asking, but I'm not gonna. That's not going to happen.
Okay. But if they do sign Keller, I could see Joe Baltoni in the center being gone next year. You know what I mean? The left guard and starting center, because at the end of the day, you know this, Ron, it's the NFL last point. You can't pay everybody.
Exactly. And I think that's where, if you do sign a quarterback, and I was glad to hear this, when Allen was talked about extending him, there's now substantial talk on both sides that Josh Allen is going to take Tom Brady type money, where he is not going to go break the bank for the Bills because he wants this model of excellence to be more than just 1 year. So there is,
because Ronnie, isn't it true the last 15 years, minus Tom Brady, that quarterbacks that won the Super Bowl been on their first deal of their contract within their first 5 years? That's Russell Wilson, Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers. Is that true?
Yeah, it is true. Yeah, it is definitely true.
They're not making as much as they want. Then their first 5 years, they're not making as much as they're in their second contract, correct, at the quarterback spot.
Yeah, exactly. The quarterback, after, especially if they're a first-round draft pick and they get the fifth year, they're going to want to get paid. And again, Tom Brady's the only quarterback that has won Super Bowls in the last dozen years or so.
Was Flacco on his fifth year?
I think he was in his fifth year. Yeah.
Yeah, remember that, Ronnie? But remember, Flacco bet on himself. The Ravens wanted to give him $13 million a year, and he said, let's negotiate after the year. They won the Super Bowl, and they were forced to give him $18.5 million a year. They gave him $5.5 million more, but then they had to cut or trade 3 players to do that. That was starters.
And then the Ravens were never heard from because of that.
Peyton Manning is in there too, though.
Yeah, Peyton Manning is in there, but Manning replaced Brock Osweiler when the Broncos won the Super Bowl. And Osweiler was, you can also throw him in there too, because Osweiler wasn't on his first contract. He was already past 5 years. So Manning would be the other one.
Most pro football fans, Ronnie, whether Buffalo, Cleveland, or whomever, Pittsburgh, if fans feel like they're paying their quarterback $40 million a year, then they're going to have to let go of 2 or 3 quality players in other spots on their teams to pay their quarterback, correct?
Yeah.
They get nervous about that. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're right. It's, if you're paying a quarterback $35-40 million, the money that you're spending on the quarterback has got to get taken somewhere else. So you're getting rid of depth, or you're getting rid of some pretty expensive starting veterans.
Yeah, and I know fans get nervous about that, so that's why they pay close attention. I tell my buddy, the defensive backs the Browns picked up from the Los Angeles Rams, I said, The Rams did not want to let go of those guys, but eventually you get hamstringed by the salary. And the Browns are eventually going to go through this, Ronnie, next year or the following year, where they're going to let good quality players let go and have to cut them based upon the fact that they're going to have to quote pay people at other spots.
Yeah, no, the window is not a wide window these days in the National Football League because of the salary cap.
And it's not a good time in the AFC to have a tight window because there's a lot of teams there that are, having that window too.
Yeah, the AFC is absolutely loaded this year. And Anthony and I were having this conversation. Look, there is no guarantee the Cleveland Browns are a playoff team this year. None. Unless you win your division, there's no guarantee of this. And I'll ask you, Mike, because you're a huge Browns fan. I have circled 2 days or 2 games that, other than your divisional games, these 2 games are the single most important games on the Cleveland Browns schedule. I truly believe Week 5 in Los Angeles against the Chargers is the most important game other than the divisional games, because assuming the Browns don't win the division and Kansas City wins the AFC West, that game is going to go a long, long ways to determine who gets a wild card.
Hey, and let me just say this, Ronnie, about the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't think I've ever been more wrong about a pro quarterback coming out of college in NFL than Hobert from Oregon. I thought he was going to be a stiff. He's a stud.
Yeah, he is.
He's an absolute stud. I mean, and I thought he was going to be bad, and I was 100% wrong. So that's for sure. And I also talked about, obviously the Dolphins took the kid out of Alabama and started taking him. It looks like the Dolphins were wrong too.
Yeah.
But I agree with that. What's your other game, Ronnie? That's
New England.
Huh?
Week 10 against New England. Because it's in Foxborough. Yeah, it's in Foxborough. And I will tell this to everyone. That New England team last year was without 8 starters. They all bailed because of COVID. They didn't want to play because of the potential problems that COVID would bring to themselves and their families. So they all bailed. This is not a bad football team. And if Mac Jones can somehow, some way play to his potential as a rookie quarterback, New England's going to be a fun team to watch this year.
And I think, Ronnie, the first game against Kansas City on Arrowhead, that Andy Reid's stats and Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback, I think they're ridiculous in September. I think they're undefeated at home, and if you look at Patrick Mahomes' stats for the month of September and Andy Reid's stats as head coach in September in Kansas City, they're unbelievable stats of winning football games.
Yeah, no,
I think the next games after that will be important because no matter how that game goes, if the Browns win that game, can they sustain that high? And if they lose that game, which I know they want to win so bad after the playoff loss, can they bounce back from losing that game? So no matter how that game goes, I'm interested to see the next 3 or 4 games after that to see how the Browns kind of respond to it.
Yeah, and by the way, those 3 games, home to Houston, home to Chicago, and at Minnesota, 3 very winnable games for the Browns.
Correct. And I remind my buddies, Ronnie, some nights the Indians will give you 12-1, and my friends will text me at 10 o'clock, oh, the Indians stink, they're terrible, it's embarrassing. When they went through those 2 no-hitters in 2 weeks, how terrible it was. And the only thing I always say, Ronnie, go back to week 1 of the 2020 season for the Cleveland Browns. They went to Baltimore and got beat by the Ravens 38-6. Okay?
Yep.
And the season still turned out pretty well. And you know this, Ronnie, in pro sports. A win is a win and a loss is a loss. Whether it's by 1 point or 1 run, that's a win, or you lose by 1 point or 1 run. A win's a win and a loss is a loss. But it doesn't matter about how many.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And you bring up the Indians, and now with Savali out for the next 4 to 6 weeks with his middle finger injury. And by the way, ironically enough, as he was injuring his middle finger, I was using 2 middle fingers to describe my angst toward the situation for the Indians. But that's neither here nor there. You now have the entire opening day rotation either on the IL or in Columbus. If Terry Francona somehow, some way gets this team to win 90 games and get a playoff position, as far as I'm concerned, he goes down as the single greatest manager in Cleveland Indians history, number 1. He is overwhelmingly the manager of the year in Major League Baseball, number 2. And just stick his ass in Cooperstown where he belongs from here on out. Because if he can get this team to get into the playoffs, it would be a ridiculously impressive achievement.
No question about that. No question about that. And Ronnie, I'll leave you go on this note because my friends always, I said, when the Indians lose big or they get no hit, it's embarrassing, it's terrible. And I always say it's one loss, guys. It's one loss. Like, you take in hockey because you and I follow hockey a little bit. Monday night, the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the New York Islanders at home in Game 5, 8-0.
Yep.
Okay? They won one game, right? They took a 3-6. And last night, the Islanders came back at home, and they won 3-2. Lucky win, probably, in overtime. But now they got to Game 7. Whether you win by 1 goal or 8 goals, a win's a win and a loss is a loss. So sometimes in sports, people magnify that stuff. Am I wrong, Ronnie?
No, I agree. When Golden State wiped the floor with the Cavaliers in Game 2 of the 2016 series, beat them by like 30-some-odd points, and everyone was like, oh, my God, you're down 2-0. You just got wiped out by Golden State. This series is over. I'm like, the hell are you guys talking about? This series hasn't even come back to Cleveland yet. Stop with this nonsense.
Yeah, and I just think fans in all sports, football, basketball, they overreact to one game, and they magnify it. And baseball is a game you play every day for 6 months. So Terry Francona said if you can't handle a 4, 5, 6-game losing streak, then you should not be a manager because you're going to have ups and downs for a 6-month season.
Agreed. Even the greatest teams of all time go into a canyon for a spell of a week or so, 2 different times.
Absolutely. Okay, Ronnie, thanks for taking my phone call.
All right, brother.
Thanks.
See ya. 330-886-0813. That's just he nailed it. Everyone loses their mind over one game. I'm like, why? You got in baseball, you get 161 more. When Browns fans were losing their mind because they got their ass kicked by Baltimore in Week 1, and you guys will be okay. It's just one game. Don't worry about it.
Only in college sports does the eye test matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once you're out of college, win, lose, doesn't matter.
Exactly. It's now, and even in college now that the playoffs are going to go up to 12 teams, now it doesn't matter.
Right. Eye test.
I mean, if you go 0-2 in the regular season, you can still get into the playoffs as the 11 or the 12 seed. Just win the rest of your games. You lose more than one game in this current format, you're done. You're not going to get into the postseason with 2 losses, or at least not into the Final Four. That's not going to happen. But when the playoffs get moved from 4 to 12, and it's going to happen, now you can get into the postseason with a 10-2 record. Maybe an SEC team gets in with a 9-3 record, and then everyone raises hell. And we should have 16 teams. No.
You wanted this.
Exactly.
And then we'd have 2/3 of the SEC in the playoffs at that point if we had 16 teams.
It's people. You don't understand what you're asking for. I mean, everyone's saying, okay, we want the Power 5. Each champion in the Power 5 getting into the tournament. Okay. That means you got 7 at-large berths. I'm telling you right now, the moment the SEC gets 4 of those at-large berths, everyone's going to lose their mind. This is what you wanted.
You can't not expect it.
Yeah. This is what you guys wanted. I don't want to hear you moaning and groaning about it because this is what you wanted. You wanted a 12-team playoff. It's not our fault the best team in college football or the best conference in college football is going to wind up with 5 of the 12 teams. This is what you asked for. Sorry about your luck. That's why I wanted it at 4. And I like Brian Driscoll's comment that he made last year. Wait until the bowl games are over. Let the bowl games, instead of the conference championship games, get rid of the conference championship games. Let the bowl games determine who the final 4 teams are, and then play your semifinals and go into your championship game the next week.
I think the gripe of that is with that format, the small teams still don't really have a chance of making it in the top 4.
Boost your non-conference schedule up.
But that's not as easy as just calling up Alabama and be like, hey, let's play. Okay, let's do it.
Well, but Alabama will do it because they're playing in the SEC.
I used Alabama. You can't just
I
call,
get it. I know what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
And some teams get screwed because, you schedule these games a couple of years in advance.
Sure.
You scheduled Oregon, and then all of a sudden Oregon's a cellar dweller, and you were like, but they were good 5 years ago.
No, and that's where you have to sit back and go, okay, wait a second. These guys did schedule them 5 years ago when they were really, really good. I made...
that doesn't help your SOS.
No, but we talked about Kent State's schedule, their football schedule for this year. is ridiculous. Their non-conference schedule is ridiculous. They're playing Texas A&M to open the season down at College Station. After VMI comes to Kent, they're going to play Iowa in Iowa. And then they go to play Maryland in Maryland. So they get two Big Ten teams and an SEC school in their first 4 games of the year.
Road, too.
All on the road.
You know what that means? Kent State's getting a lot of money.
Yes, they are.
A lot of money.
Yes, they are. And let's say that they knock off Iowa and Maryland and finish the year, 10-2. They'll get a serious bowl berth if that were the case. I mean, they probably won't. But could you imagine what they would do if they were to knock off Iowa and Maryland, or 2 of these 3 behemoths? Oh my God, their life would be grand as long as they get through the Mid-American Conference schedule. They'd get a serious bowl because they'd won 2 of those 3 games. Let's take a time. I'll be back with more. Stick around.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Jimmy Sutton here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and 2 of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in the Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
This is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local, independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle, why shop anywhere else but Tri-State Ford? Choose from our great selection of pre-owned vehicles. Plus, we've got you covered with our exclusive Tri-State Ford Advantage. It includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty with your pre-owned vehicle and much more. Come see why so many customers from the Tri-State area buy their pre-owned vehicle at Tri-State Ford.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
When Mother Nature starts flexing her muscles, make sure you're prepared for comfort. For over a decade, NDC Heating and Cooling has been sending their team of experienced, certified, and knowledgeable technicians to service the area. NDC services all makes and models and carries a wide selection of furnaces, air conditioners, and indoor air quality products. To schedule an appointment, call 330-457-2562. That's 330-457-2562. For all your residential and commercial heating and cooling needs in Columbiana or Mahoning counties, call NDC Heating and Cooling in New Waterford, Ohio, where our thermostat is always set on quality.
Hey, welcome back to this Thursday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Ron Potesta with you alongside Anthony Hartwig. Stick around. Coming up in about 10 minutes or so, you got the Power Hour coming up next. DJ and the boys will take you through the 3 o'clock hour. We have plenty of games on the network tonight, including the Penn, Ohio game down at Patterson Field in the beautiful community of East Liverpool, Ohio.
Yeah, let's go through that.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Penn, Ohio game starting at 7 o'clock. That'll be on the network. Then we have Class B baseball from Scene Park. We have the Avalanche taking on the Prospects in 16U. We have Athletics taking on Dura Edge in 16U. We have Nightline taking on Whiting Roll-Offs in 16U. You can stream the Mahoning Valley Scrappers game from State College on their homepage as well. That'll be at 6:30. We have Ballistic Baseball versus Creekside 16U at 8 o'clock. Eagleware versus Dura Edge, that is 16U, and that will be at 8:15. And then at 8:30, the Astro Falcons round off the night playing 16U baseball against the Athletics. So all that and more on YSN today. Tune in. Go to ysnlive.com/live for the list of all the games tonight.
And it should be an awful lot of fun to see B-League baseball. That's been a fun year. I've been doing a lot of the 14U games, but I have had an opportunity to umpire some 16 and 18U games. It's been a fun year to this point. But the game that I think everyone is going to be looking forward to seeing tonight is the Penn, Ohio game down in East Liverpool for the bragging rights, if you will. That's mainly the Beaver County kids, the kids from Beaver County, the southern part of Lawrence County, taking on the kids from Columbiana County on the Ohio side, and mainly Columbiana County, but we also encompass the southern tip of Mahoning County. So it's kind of a battle of the two counties that border each other. On State Route 14 is the common point with Ohio and Pennsylvania. It runs right through Columbiana County and on into Beaver County into Pennsylvania.
And I'll tell you, Austin Price last night for the Prospects 18U team pitched one of the gems that we've seen to this year in Class B. He threw 7 innings, only gave up 2 hits, and shut out Dura Edge and Prospects 4-0 win.
Nice.
Last night in 18U action. So we're
Yeah.
starting to see the pitchers start to really find their rhythm in Class B as well.
Yeah, you got to love that. All right, we're going to take a final timeout. Be back with to wrap the show up. Stick around, more to come.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air,
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online,
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
on social media, and on our app.
Rain will come and go tomorrow. There'll be some dry intervals.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
"60 years ago, Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods began with 3 siblings, a hand-set sawmill, and a few local orders. And while business has certainly changed over the years, what has not are our principles of hard work, craftsmanship, and commitment to quality. At Baird Brothers, we're proud to put our name on the products we create, from moldings and doors to flooring and lumber. Thank you for 60 great years. We look forward to 60 more. Baird Brothers, for the place you love."
Before we get out of here, we have breaking news, developing story from the softball all-star game. An agreement has been reached as to who is going to get the first pick. Give the story.
I'll be the first pick. Mr. Betos gets to be the home team. So
I think it's a fair deal.
It was going to be a ping pong game. I was coming in, getting ready.
Yeah.
You got to volley with me a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much going to be based on my serve. That's I mean,
yeah, exactly.
If I could serve well, I might be able to hold my own. But, you know, I like this idea too.
The idea now that you get the first pick in the all-star game, all-star draft, and Jeff is going to have the home team.
Right.
I think it's a fair deal, especially if you don't screw up the first pick. It's a pretty fair deal, and I'm sure you won't screw up the first pick because
I'm not giving anything away. You'll have to watch the draft on Saturday at 5 to figure out my plan. But,
yeah.
So are we doing 1 and then you get 2, 3, and I get 4, or are we just doing alternating?
It's probably going to be like how the boys were. You get 1, 2, 3, and you get 4, 5, and then I get 6, 7.
Yeah, so you'll go 1, 2, 2,
1,
2,
2,
2,
yeah.
2, 2. Okay, there you go.
And then we just go 2, 2, 2.
And then you go 2, 2, 2 back and forth. That's fair. That's fair. I like the fact that you're getting the first pick overall.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, because you're getting the pick of the litter on our incredibly talented All-YSN softball all-star team.
All right.
And you get to give up home field. So that's a fair trade. It's a fair trade-off.
In the first inning, I like being the visiting team because that gives you the first chance to put the pressure on. You score a couple runs at the top of the inning.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, pressure's on real quick.
Okay.
Advantage goes to the home team later in the game because then you're sitting there like, especially if it's a close game.
Yeah, if you're behind, the advantage goes to the home team.
Right. So.
Yeah. This will be fun.
We'll be good.
Sunday is the game. Saturday at 5 is the draft, and hopefully both parties will be civil. I can't promise that, but both parties hopefully will be civil.
I think Jeff will be pretty civil.
Well, I wasn't talking about Jeff. I was talking about you. Are you kidding me? You're taking this seriously. To which you've never said anything horrible on the air.
Nope.
We're waiting for you to drop an F-bomb or something when somebody screws up.
When I'm mic'd up in the dugout.
Yeah, when you're mic'd up, because that's going to be gold, and we'll play it as long as you don't say anything really, really bad on the air. All right, Power Hour is coming up next. Make it a great rest of your Thursday.